Welcome to the No Practice Podcast, where we cover the only sport in the world where there is no practice. With your mini rod driving host, Adam Kester, Tyler Slaw, and Chase Richardson. Strap in for some debates on the world of pulling, exclusive special guests, and a whole lot of nonsense BS. The No Practice Podcast starts now.
Simon pulling for Brent Meyer out of Red Granite, Wisconsin, and Loud and Heavy.
All right, so one of the hometown pullers. Up next here is Kevin Schmucker, right over in Louisville, Ohio, about a half hour from here, as we see son Danny on the fair board, the guy that makes this event happen here, this tractor pull here at the Stark County Fairgrounds. As Kevin, a big winner 1 year ago. He won it Saturday night 1 year ago here. And Kevin, a two-time winner. We talked about that. Danny's had 3 wins here at his hometown event.
And here again, going down the right-hand side of the track. Backed up to the sled. It's a beautiful-looking tractor.
So the Get Her Done Deer. Our next puller here, of course, the Schmucker family, the Rampage tractor for so many years, and then they decided, instead of sharing that Rampage, they decided to go out and purchase the Get Her Done Deer, and Kevin has been running that ever since. Former Grand National winning championship tractor. So here we go. Let's see if they can figure it out here. Pro stock class.
350 feet is the distance to beat. It is going to take a spectacular run, but we believe that we've got some tractors back there that can do it, and this is one of them.
Taking just a little bit of time, building that boost. That John Deere 7830, 680 cubic inches, making about 5,000 horsepower nowadays.
Another great pull, and this is going to be right in there with these other pullers that ahead of him.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 52 of the No Practice Podcast. A little video intro there, sneak peek on who we're going to be talking to later. Our apologies on the late start, some slight technical difficulties backstage. One thing about bringing you a live show is things don't always go according to plan because we don't practice. This is the No Practice Podcast. Adam, Chase, gentlemen, how are we doing this evening?
Tyler, that was a nice version. We have someone different directing the back end. If you can't tell, we were late, and then they wanted to start with a different start to the show. But we love all of our people that make this podcast go, especially the fans and the back end people. Doing good. We're living in the twilight zone. It's November, and everyone's talking pulling.
Yep, a lot of pulling talk for November.
Adam, how are you over there in Indiana?
Adam, how we doing? All right, guys. Adam's dealing with some technical difficulties, but folks. Speaking of starting the show,
one causing problems.
It's possible, but I like to start the show the same way I start every show, and that is with the cracking of a delicious ice-cold beverage. Chase, how about yourself? What are you having this evening?
I'm having a water right now on ice.
Water.
Yeah, the intensity level of the pulling atmosphere is something I feel like I need to be sober for. At least someone told me this could be our biggest show ever. I don't think it's going to be our biggest show ever. But I think we're going to have a lot of talk about. And the Schmucker team, if you didn't notice in the intro to start, is our big guest, one of the household names in all pulling. So look forward to getting those guys on. But I would say to say we have a lot to talk about would be an understatement at this point, Tyler. We're, a week from Thanksgiving tomorrow, and I don't know if I've ever seen a buzz like this in pulling ever.
It's true. There's a lot of buzz. We're just a couple days removed from the PPL pulling banquet, where there was some beverages to be had there as well as some announcements that went down. So pretty eventful weekend. PPL launching the Fent High Stakes Series, partnering with IHRA. Mr. Darrell, owner of the IHRA, was there himself at the banquet, discussing some things, and there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of buzz.
Explain this scene to me, because I intentionally have not. Well, we don't always talk middle of the week, but was this like a public service announcement? Was it a private meeting? Was there a couple of you sitting around a bar? Like what?
Yeah. So what this was is a happy hour from 5:30 to 6:30 that everybody was invited to have a couple of drinks and have a little discussion. It was actually in the room where the banquet was held, but it was the evening before. And they talked about how next year, or this year, I should say, the next pulling season, they're going to do a 5-event series, all of them two-day hooks, which, the people love their 2-day hooks. The pullers love that. So there's the dates right there. We do know that Farley, Iowa is going to be on June 19 and 20 as part of this. And so, yeah, that pay structure that you just had up, that is going to be not an average of the 2 days. That is going to be each day. So, you're looking at 10 dates there, and that purse payout, $10,000 for first, $5,000 for second, $3,500 for third, $2,475 for fourth, even fifth coming in at $1,875. And with 15th place, even paying $1,000. So there is going to be I believe it's $11,000 entry fee to be part of this. So the pullers are putting up some cash. However, if you run the math on that with the end of the year points payout, I believe you could even show up to all of the events and get dead last at every single event and still get your money back. And who's going to show up and get dead last at every event? So, just imagine like Adam rolls in, even if he sucks one night. If he just cleans house and gets a first and a second one of the days, boom, there's 15 grand. If you got a first and a second, Adam, with just 2 tractors, 2 days in a row, that's $30,000 right there.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good, So if let's say I was lucky enough to get all 3 in the scenario, that's $33,000
in one day.
On top of, don't you have to have a membership through Pro Pulling League also to run that series too?
Yes,
so
yes, I would imagine
probably another $4,000. Say for, I don't know, let's say all in at $37,000, and that's to run Champions Tour and the high stakes series there. You get a couple first places there, you easily cover your entry fee. So I don't know. We'll see what happens if we're lucky enough to be involved in that deal, huh?
It's $11,000 to get in. Is what is for 10 events? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's how many people that will be in this? 15.
15. Yep.
So there's $1.3 million being contributed into this. Beyond that, is that the way it looks to me?
Yeah. If you pull that pay structure back up, I think it was 2.7 or something like that.
You all know how I am on math on this, but
there's what roughly. Like you say, well over $1 million, right around.
Hey, maybe I do this. Maybe I sell one of my tractors, the seat to it for about 30 grand, and then I cover all the states, and then somebody can drive for me. Huh?
So
there you go.
2 points. So 100. Go back to that other one backstage. 2.7 million a payout, and there's 1.32. So a little more than $1.4 million is being contributed to this. This is the biggest news I've ever heard in the history of pulling.
It's huge.
$1.4 million, guys. This is not. That's. I don't even like. That's like Twilight Zone shit. That's unbelievable to me, and that's like RJ and IHRA or Pro Pulling, whoever orchestrated this. That is. I thought $50,000 a win was the biggest thing I've ever seen. That's way bigger, in my opinion.
Can you imagine if just somebody comes in and kicks ass and just, even if they win 5 of the 10 events, which, the way Tanner Nelson was kicking our ass at the end of the year, maybe he will. Imagine if he just squeaks in 5 first place finishes. That tractor's bringing home 50 grand plus wherever he stacks up with the rest of the payouts. I mean,
is it out of line to say that $1.4 million contribution is the biggest news in the history of polling?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know who's to thank, whether it's Mr. Darrell from the IHRA or Fent, or probably a combination of both. But if there's one thing us pullers like to complain about, it's the prize money, you know?
Yeah. So, I think one thing that's probably going without saying here is that obviously there's only 15 spots.
That's
so in that case, I would think Pro Pulling League would be taking last year's top 15 in points, and they will go through that and see if people are interested in it. And whatever spots are available may be open to other people coming in.
Yeah, that is the way I understood it. Obviously there was a lot of questions. They don't have everything completely lined out, but like they said, there's been enough rumors and discussions behind the scenes that they wanted to present the information that they were prepared to offer, and that's what they had there. So,
and Tyler, you did reach out to the IHRA guy. Is it Daryl's his name? Daryl's
his name.
Yeah, to come on here, and they said they would come, but just not ready to do it yet.
Well, I reached out to Mears, and we kind of had some back and forth about tentative dates and stuff. It wasn't a definitive no, but as far as this evening, that wasn't going to happen. We see Jeremy saying, someone explain to me how this grows pulling. $11,000 to run. The problem in pulling is the business model on which the sanctioning bodies run. Membership, sanctioning fees, entry fees, etc. It costs $215 to have a Top Fuel NHRA membership and $10 for each additional vehicle. NHRA owns their events, though. They have a stake in the profit and loss of every event. Change the business model, pulling will change. Not trying to be a Debbie Downer about it. It's great money, but doesn't, and I can't actually see.
Scroll that, please.
I can't scroll it personally, but yeah.
On the right hand side there.
So, like, RJ and I had a discussion about this, and people are like, well, the pullers are paying. Like, really, the biggest thing to try to put on event is you want guaranteed competitors that are going to be there, right? And it's hard for, somebody says, oh yeah, I'll be there. Well, when they actually have some skin in the game and they have some money invested, they're probably actually going to be there. So in theory, like, you have to put some money up front, but like, as long as you do your part and you show up, you're going to get all of that back.
On that sheet I saw there, if it's 11,000, if there has to be 11 events to get it back. Right?
Well, you got end of year points payout as well.
Well, I got you. I'm not trying to. The bigger thing I look at, and I appreciate that comment, Jeremy. This is all. I don't think any of us had the answers, and it's all 100% speculation, like a lot of podcast content is. If someone's putting up $1.4 million, that's the biggest. That's the bigger picture here in my book. It's not the buy
in one year.
Yeah,
alone.
It's huge.
I mean, if you look over the years, like obviously Enderle's put a bunch of money. It's over $1 million into the Enderle pull-off. Sure. But this is happening in 1 year.
So are they doing it with, you said RJ's event, are they doing it with the other PPL events like Hillsboro and Henry and these others? Like, where are these places?
They haven't announced the other 4 locations. I'm anticipating for those people that follow like the behind the scenes of, Darrell acquiring the IHRA, he acquired several racetracks across the country, like Benson, North Carolina, for example. So I would imagine that these other events will probably be at his facilities. I'm just speculating. I can't confirm that, but that would only make good sense. If he's behind this, he's involved. Where would you have an event other than, the facilities you own, whether that be Dragway 42? Yeah.
So, but they've announced that Farley's a venue.
Well, I'm just reading into it. I know RJ's involved. RJ has his dates posted, and the dates that RJ has posted align with the date, one of the set of dates that's on that event. So, yeah, that June 19 and 20 there.
Well, he's not doing the $50,000 to win anymore.
I believe he's part of the Fent High Stakes series.
So from what I've heard, and I don't know much, but I do talk to RJ some. He is a customer of mine. I think the $50,000 to win deal is something they're going to revisit possibly next year. Obviously, there's a bunch of I think he was very thrilled to have 50 people sign up in each class, to go for that 25 each night. Some say that possibly you couldn't get people to enter again after they've seen how it ran. I would be in for it. I would pay again to go after it again. But I think he wants to revisit that just from what I've heard. I don't know too much about this. I see somebody's comment, Adam, are you going to run PPL? I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Obviously,
you got to. I want to run. Me and you. I want that spot. You can't get it.
RJ's a very good customer. RJ and the family is a very good customer of mine. They've helped support me. I'd love to help support them. I know there is probably some dates that conflict with other things. So if RJ's putting on an event, I want to support him. If I'm even allowed, there's 15 spots.
You're gonna have a freaking flip a coin. You can't just have that spot, right?
Well, I don't know, Chase. Adam,
why don't we could do a bet, Chase? And since you're so good betting, maybe we could just bet pulling. Whoever runs better gets the spot.
I'll wax my whole body for $1.4 million.
I mean, Adam actually showed up to a Champions Tour event where Chase didn't.
A couple of them.
So, I mean,
I would, yeah.
I feel like Adam's got.
I just didn't run mini rods at him. I won a Champions Tour event.
Yeah, with the two-wheeler, right?
That doesn't count, right?
Yeah.
For anybody that doesn't know, back when PPL started the mini rod class, we were at every event that they put on.
Your dad helped with that going, didn't he, Adam?
Yeah, he really. He wanted to do it, and they had 3 events that first year, and I think we won all 3 of them. But it was a very small class back then. I think we were struggling to get 10 or 12 people. Now, obviously, the mini rod class is massive, so I'm sure people on both sides will be thankful that there's not 30 mini rods at every event.
Yeah.
So I think I heard some possible polls that I was at last year that maybe there was some barking about how many people were showing up. So here you go, folks. Promoters that complained about there being too many mini rods, maybe there won't be as many mini rods at the events. Who knows? And who knows? Maybe nobody wants to pay $11,000. I would. I'm in this thing. I have a sponsorship. I want to run for the big stuff. I want to be the best of the best. I guess I can say I can check off my spot of winning.
You got to beat me first.
I check off my spot of winning a Grand National Championship if I'm lucky enough. If that means I got to run one entire year of PPL to get involved in the top 15 in points, then maybe I do that. So I don't know. We'll just see what happens.
So look, we're not here to spread rumors. We're not here to. It sounds like this topic, and please correct me if either of you feel differently, has a lot still to be shared. We don't want this podcast turned into a rumor. But I guess the one thing we can confirm is that there is something new coming.
I'm excited.
And there's a bunch of new stuff coming. If you've been paying close attention to the internet and the pulling world, I think there's been some bomb dropped about every other day on social media about a new event or some big series or something going on. We're having pulling in Evansville, Indiana, my hometown, that I've never pulled in. That is an NTPA event.
No, that's the No Practice Podcast Nationals. We didn't break it to you, Adam.
Yeah.
No. We've heard the demands. You've never pulled there? It's a beautiful venue, and if you had Wi-Fi issues coming on, but this is the No Practice Podcast Nationals, people. Coming May 28th through the 30th. What is that? It's 5 miles from your house, Adam?
9 miles and 2 roads.
So whenever you're there leaving and stumbling out of the place, take a left pulling out of the fairgrounds. When the road comes to an end, take another left. You'll see the Silver Bell. Stop in there, have a drink, and then Adam lives right next to it. But yeah.
So I put a request in since I've already had about 30 of my relatives ask for camping spots. So these 500 camping spots might sell out quick. So when they go up for sale, you might get right on that because my family wants about half of them. But I've made a request to the promoters, wink, wink, that I want to be parked my rig in the campground so I can hang out with my friends and family, and so we don't have to travel. We just hang out all together in the campground.
Yeah. So this is there will be some announcements coming out about ticket sales, camping site sales, and a major title sponsor of this event. to support it along with the No Practice podcast. But I can confirm there's been over 70, like 65 to 70 verbally accounted for campsites. So when these go on sale, I think this is not going to be a Bowling Green, but I could see where if you wait around till February, you won't have any campsites. So Adam, what else can you share about this facility? This is your backyard.
Yeah, so
it's a beautiful place.
Obviously, the Pro Pulling League goes to the Vanderburgh County Fair there in late July, and it's for anybody that goes to that pull. I mean, you can look at the stands right now; it's absolutely packed. Oh, right. Look out to the
great event. I love going there.
Yeah. So, maybe there's a little teaser that'll be dropped for anybody that knows it's been there to the event as either competitor or spectator. We're trying to keep. I say we, like I have something to do with it. I kind of do, but
it's a No Practice podcast nationals.
I don't have too much involved besides me showing up and bringing a bunch of people with me. But for anybody that doesn't know that's a competitor there, you see this road that runs along the backside of the grandstands here. We're through the pits and comes in, and you start on the end here and you pull, which was right to left if you're looking at this picture, which is north to south is where you usually pull. Back when I remember going to this event as a young kid when my dad pulled there years and years ago, the last time we pulled there was 2001, and we pull south to north. So you'll be heading towards the buildings instead of going the other direction, which I think will be a big hit.
So we're switching. We're switching back to that. Is that what you're saying?
I think. I would hope. I think we push that. There's a little bit better staging area. I think some of the competitors complain that the way it's set up now, it's really hard to watch the event and keep up with it because you get bottlenecked up back on the scales in the the entry to the track for the vehicles. So, but if we can get half of this crowd, which I think is easily done, there's a ton of people that show up to this event and they enjoy truck and tractor pulling like you've never seen. It's really a phenomenal grounds. It's really spaced out really well for parking, campgrounds. Even the pullers area is really good. Like I said, it's been numerous years since I got to go to a pull there, but it's an absolute beautiful fairgrounds. It's centrally located about next to every pull. You look at guys from up north and to the east and all this stuff. We're in central or southern Indiana, which is very central for a lot of pullers. So I think we'll get a good turnout. And phenomenal fairgrounds, phenomenal fans, and there will be the best of the best equipment there.
This will be the weekend after Memorial Day. Typically that date's in June, but the way the calendar falls, I think Memorial Day is the 24th. So what was, no pun intended, the weekend of Galot until this previous year, this event will fall in that. Will be the kind of the summer kickoff event. So 2 tracks, Friday and Saturday night, NTBA Grand National, Unlimiteds, Diesel Supers, Pro Stocks, Diesel 4-wheel drive, Super Stock Diesel 4-wheel drive, light mods, and mini rods, 6 classes, 2 tracks. I think actually, and this is maybe a podcast recommendation, there's going to be alcohol on one track, diesel on the other track. So as we get going the next few months, this podcast is how this thing came about. So we're going to be finding away suggestions and ideas of how to make the greatest pull in the world. It's not going to be a Bowling Green or a Louisville or a Toma, but I think we, with the support of all of our fans and all you all and everything, we can, some of the things I don't want to say bitch about, we talk about in this podcast, we can just fix them and we're going to do it our way on this show. So really looking forward to that. And then we talked about this last show, the 2 Florida events that kick off the season as well. Those are in mid-March. Those will be a much different vibe. I can say that there has been speculation that it's licensed vehicles only. Anyone that shows up there and enters like you go to any Grand National pull will be able to pull. I don't know where all that context came from, but it's an open entry event. So
you're squashing the rumor mill. You're saying if you show up and you have a proper vehicle, you can pull.
I mean, you got to pass tech.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean by
you can't cuss Marvin out. But if you do all those regular things, I think you'll be good to go. Yeah.
I feel like Marvin and I are pals now. I do. I mean, I'm shocked they didn't even outlaw my fenders next year. So it's wild.
Yeah.
And we see here also the announcing of July 10 and 11 at the Buck Motorsports Park is Grand National. NTPA is coming there.
It's another historic venue from a historical standpoint. Like, you think Evansville and the Buck and all these places, like, we're back in the 90s, right? I don't know the last time the Buck had a major pull, but
did you ever go to a pull there, Chase?
yeah, you know what I always remember about that place is that there was Amish people everywhere. It's the first time I ever saw an Amish person in my life, and now they've relocated to Kentucky and live all around us.
Well, I mean, they are in Pennsylvania there, of course. So
yeah, I actually shared a video with you all. A buddy of mine was out. This came up last week. Was rolling through the. There's been a big wave of Amish people from Pennsylvania relocate to South Central Kentucky, where we're from. And he was driving by a couple weeks ago. They were doing a pull, like an Amish pull, like tractor pull, that he sent me the video of. Maybe we can get that on the air, but that was kind of funny. But yeah, I have been to the Buck. Long-winded answer.
Yeah, I feel like I've been there as well with Bruce back in the days when he had his 5-engine tractor running the Unlimited class. They had the Unlimiteds there way back in the day, didn't they?
They did, yeah. I think that place in NTPA Unlimiteds resonate. I don't know if they've ever had a NTPA pull they didn't have Unlimited. So, and holy cow, that class, man. I think we've talked about what they have, like pretty well every show they had at least 10, more like 12 tractors.
I feel like this past year was some of the best Unlimited tractor pulling that I've seen.
They're going to be covering this. They're like full pulls doing a week by week breakdown of classes the next month or so. But I think there's 4 more Unlimiteds coming in 2026. As crazy that sounds.
Come on. 4 more Unlimiteds coming.
In fact, I've heard there's one with 5 screws going on.
No way.
Yeah. We'll let that sit back.
I want that person on. I don't want rumors. I mean, Wayne Purser was talking about his crazy tractor. We never saw it all last year. You cannot tease me with a 5 screw blown engine Unlimited like that unless I'm going to actually see it.
Anyone want to take a bet if it one wheel?
Let me guess. Benedict's are coming out with another multi-engine tractor, and it's going to have 5 screw blown engines on it.
Adam, you can comment on this better than I can, but the first reaction a person thinks is how they're going to make weight. But believe it or not, a C screw blower is lighter than a billet charger, like a 1471 like we run.
Yeah, even the lightest 1471 roots blower is heavier than a screw supercharger. The case of the screw blower is made out of magnesium, which is lighter than aluminum. They're actually a little bit shorter in size. They are taller, but yeah, it's kind of crazy. Screw blowers are awesome, right? So I'd have to say if I ever had one, and I had. Now these C rotor blowers are going for about $50,000 a pop, and that's pretty serious change, right? But if I actually had a Unlimited and I wanted to run screw blowers on it, I would run the D rotor, which is 20% smaller, and still makes more air, or makes about the equal air as a good 1471 without the rotating assembly. So they still make more power than a 14, maybe not as much as the C rotor, but C rotor screw chargers are really hard to get a hold of these days, and they're very expensive.
Adam, there hasn't been a D rotor screw in pulling.
No, there hasn't, and I think it would be smart.
So the D screw rotor for our crossover drag racing fans, that's what they run at Top Alcohol, right?
Yeah, Top Alcohol Funny Car and Top Alcohol Dragsters run the D rotor, and like I said, it's 20% smaller. The size of it is 20% smaller, so roughly has 20% less output than the C rotor.
Yeah.
They also made a B rotor, which is kind of one of the first ones. And then for some people who don't know, there's somewhat of a comparison with a Whipple charger, which is kind of like a same idea, different company. There's not very many of those out there, but yeah, it talks about horsepower. Anything with a screw blower on it's going to make good power.
Yeah, 5 with screws though, and maybe you know what though. This is the other thing. When people see that there's a $1.4 million contribution to something, those guys may change their plans. So as I hear more, I'll let you know. But I think there's going to be 4 more unlimiteds campaigning on the circuit.
Well,
and then
what else is 4 more? I think they also have 4 to 6 more hooks, maybe possibly more on the schedule, right?
Yeah, well, I know they've announced between Evansville, the Buck, and Mackville, they'll organically have 6 more, right? So,
yeah, and then breaking news: another poll, Macon, Missouri, the Show Me Showdown. 3 nights, 9 Grand National classes, top tier competition, a historic return to where it all began. If there's 9 Grand National classes, I'm going to bet that I know a few classes that are going to be at that poll. How many? Good question. I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask both of you. How many Grand National classes are there?
14 now, right?
There's a lot.
Is there 14?
I feel like
he's coming. I think there was 13. They added 4 so there's 14 now.
I feel like every other year there's a new one.
Yeah. So it's like mailboxes. There's just another one up the road. Yeah, there's a abundance of classes. I don't know what the non is for that event, but I hope it's not unlimited because that will be another 2 hooks. But who knows?
Yeah. And maybe we'll get into this later with our guests that we're going to be having on. And the Schmuckers, they run pro stock diesel tractors. And over the last few years, those guys have had a numerous amount of events a year that they have. So it'll be good to hear their input on maybe the amount of pulls that you go to a year.
Right.
But yeah, obviously there's big news and lots of events being had. Let's see how it shakes things up.
There's things.
I had a fan. I should put this on here. I don't want to message me after the Buck announcement and said, "Thank you for the No Practice podcast" or something like that, because before that, nobody ever reported anything on the internet in November.
Yeah, and even bigger news yet. We just have them keep rolling on in.
Yeah.
The first week in March of 2026, Fort Wayne, Indiana, March 6th and 7th. There's going to be an invitational pull at the Fort Wayne Coliseum. Do we have a name for that venue, or is that what it's called?
I mean, Yoder Popcorn's aligned with it. I don't know if they have a name. Backstage, I don't know what that really is, but it's Yoder Popcorn. Rush Yoder is the, I guess, promoter of this event, which is amazing to have another promoter step in and provide an indoor winter pool.
Right. And that Coliseum looks pretty big, as in, like, I think they used to pull there, and I think you can get a 300-foot track inside.
There's a lot of history of that place. I think ATPA pulled there, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know the last time they ran there. Feels like I want to say it was when I was in high school, so that was not that long ago, but a long time ago.
12 pro stocks. Back her up here a little bit. 6 two-wheel drive trucks. Dr. Preload Super Semi, 6 of those. CM pulling tires, 12. Regional National 3.0 trucks, 6 of those. Regional National Hot Farm tractors, 6 of those. The show will also include Full Throttle Monster Trucks, 2 afternoon shows, a Pride and Polish truck show, open indoor pits, trade show floor, VIP ticketing with special seating, parking, and hospitality options.
The Champions
Challenge format puts a bonus money on the line. If a seasoned class champion wins again in Fort Wayne, they take home a $5,000 bonus. If not, the bonus is split amongst all the other competitors who outperform the champ.
I like that. That's fun.
Yeah,
it's a different angle.
It's definitely a twist.
Different angle.
I didn't know that. That's fun. I like it when they do unique things like that. When it's like, all right, here's your champion. If the champion can beat the entire group, that MFer gets $5,000. And if he gets 4th, that means 3 people beat him, and those 3 people split $5,000. That's pretty sweet.
So the people in the class are hoping that the guy gets last.
I was going to say, it's not like telling everybody, I hope you lose, right?
Yeah, and we got 2 champions on this podcast right now, and one of them is not me. It's Chase and Adam. They're the 2 champions. So you guys are going to have a target on your backs. You better kick everyone's ass, and you get another $5,000, just like that.
we'll see what the year brings.
With all this news and all this, I mean, each topic probably deserves a little more time we're giving it. But with all this, the roundabout message that I have is that, as negative as some things might seem, pooling seems to be in a pretty healthy spot in terms of people wanting to promote pools and bring fans and audience. So all this is a positive in my book. I don't know your all's feeling, but
I would agree.
When was the last time people were freaking jacked up about pulling in November, right? Hell, you could even get them. Right. There was many times where you didn't even know you're pulling until like after the farm show. At least we know a couple of dates, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, we still don't know the other places we're supposed to pull this year either.
Well, I didn't say it was totally a good thing. I just said it's been proved.
Yeah. It actually, I think it puts the pullers in kind of a quandary, as you say, trying to figure out, because I think people kind of do it. They judge off what their schedule is and what it allows and what they're allowed to do. Some people, let's face it, if you're popped with 24 pro stock hooks a year, that narrows it down really quick because it's really hard to hit every single event in a very demanding schedule in a class that demands a lot of maintenance. Yeah, I understand that, you look at the unlimited class, you add 6 more hooks. I think they had 12 or so. You're starting to get those numbers inflated back up there. It takes a lot of, I mean, Tyler, you ran an unlimited whenever there was 20 hooks, probably, right?
I don't know. It could have been 4 hooks. It could have been 20, but it seemed like 100 because it was too many. Because I'm just, right. I can't do it.
There was 14 unlimited hooks last year.
That's a good number.
4 recovery got ran out twice, so it ended up being 12.
That's a good number.
I don't know where that number is, but like, if you can eliminate single day hooks and those turn into 2-day hooks, the number's going to grow. And I think people are going to be a little more happier. But, the single day hooks are the thing that I think needs to be squashed. But my opinion's my opinion, not everyone else's opinion.
I mean,
and I love Napoleon, Ohio. Hell, I've won 3 or 4 times there. And I know Adam's had success there, but
I've won a lot there too. I like going on that track. You know why I like that track so much? Because it's very similar to Bowling Green's track.
Yeah. Well, I like that pool because they have a memorable campground that maybe we can get into another day. But
very memorable.
Yeah.
Very memorable.
With all that said, I don't know. Yeah, there needs to be a cap on, I think, where places run. But I think if you have 2-day hooks instead of 1 day, that number is obviously higher. But yeah, I'm not that decision maker.
I've said it before. Like we saw somebody in the comments there saying, that the Buck also is putting up additional prize money. I still think the best structure would be if you've got 10 events that want to, bring in the class and they cap it at a certain number of events. You just say, hey, whatever promoter is willing to throw the most
more money,
bonus prize money at it, you get that class. You're highest on the list, but they're only going to 6 places for 2-day events for like your unlimiteds, and you say, hey,
you bid them out.
Yeah, there's 6 different spots. We're going to take this unlimited class. They're going to be pulling 2-day events only, and this is our structured prize money. And if you want to make damn sure that you're going to have them, you throw an extra $8,000 at them. And if somebody else says, well, you know what, I'm going to throw $10,000 at them, well, that $10,000, bonus money's got more dibs on them, because it does suck to think that, guys get these badass vehicles and they run them so hard, and then all of a sudden the class is growing and you're like, oh, we got to make.
What do I get for it, right?
Yeah. Well, obviously it has to go off fan popularity, right? So I think that has a little bit to do with it. I think too, if the numbers are good in the class, it shows promoters that, hey, we have a decent amount of vehicles that we can bring to your event for your time frame that you're looking at. There's a lot of, and we've seen the classes fluctuate, some years. I think there for a while when there was a bunch of unlimiteds, I think they had them at 21 hooks. A lot of the guys backed out and went to the modified class, and there was a few more numbers in the modified class. The unlimited numbers dropped. The modified class went up, and they kind of chased the competitors around.
I think it's kind of like a supply and demand thing. Like when the class gets deeper like that and you see it's got good support, the demand for the class goes up, the class gets stretched thin, the supply drops down, the demand drops down. So I feel like if you were to graph it, it almost goes up and down as far as the number of events.
Right.
And I feel like that just goes to show that there is kind of a sweet spot where if you've got, guys want to pull more than just 4 times a summer, obviously, in a class, but they also, I don't know that they want to be committed to running 24 times in a summer either. There's not too many people that can, afford the financials of that, but really the time away from their businesses and stuff like that, it's just not a practical structure.
I can't do the tires.
Yeah.
the tire maintenance for 20 hooks.
Maybe if you didn't have 3 damn tractors at them, my God.
I know. I tell you what, man. Well, I've maybe mentioned that before. I just signed a 3-year contract extension with Shell Rotella. Breaking news.
Congratulations.
Right?
Cheers.
Thanks. And we're
Cheers
also
to that.
signing
Let's
on,
end the show, man. Let's fucking party.
Yeah. Also signing on Tractor Supply coming on board this year. That's another big thing. But they like that I have 3 vehicles.
Yeah.
Right. I downplay my group and it will affect my sponsorship. So I ain't gonna lie. Last year was a good year for me. I ran really good. The best thing that happened to me all year long is I got to Nashville, Illinois at the end of the year. I wasn't running for PPL points. I showed up because it's close to my house. From the first day to the second day, I didn't touch a single thing. Yeah, I didn't touch a tire. Now, every other hook that last year, every single pass I cut, every tire on every tractor, every pass. I was tired.
Did you not touch them because you're hungover, or you're
No, I just didn't want to do it. I was tired. I didn't check the oil filters. I didn't check the valves. I didn't cut the tires. I didn't do anything. I said, you know what? If they can't make 2 runs, then I don't need to pull. Plus, it's the last one of the year. Who cares?
Yeah.
I feel like you can get away with that at the last hook of the year.
This is such a common.
If you were test hook, I mean, you don't have much time to do it. Or if you have to come right back in a pull off, you don't have much time. If they can't make, and they were fine, they're still fine. But
I agree. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you can probably be driving down the freeway at 70 mile an hour and close your eyes for 15 seconds on a good straight stretch of road. But just because you do it doesn't mean you should do it all the time.
It's like such a common sense statement, but I think we can probably tie this to pulling. So like everything has a value on it, right? An old car, depending on the shape it's in or how many are available, the less there is, there's more value. A pulling vehicle, if it kicks everybody's ass, it has a lot of value. It's the same with a promoter who wants a class. Like, it's no secret. Unlimiteds, pro stocks, diesel, super stocks, mini rods, and probably four-wheel drive diesel are very high demand classes. So when they're high demand, the value should go up with them. To your point, Tyler, of if you want these, they cost a certain price. But there's creating value and pulling is something we all can do, I think, to help sell and get more revenue. And kudos to RJ and the PPL group and IHRA for getting $1.4 million, because that is a value for everybody. Even if you're not participating in that elevates everything. And that's that's the biggest news of the history of pulling, like from what it sounds like to me. So
it's exciting. I'm excited.
It's super huge.
So Tyler, if you're going to pull for that much money, Wick turned up every time. How many spare motors we got for that 5-run circuit?
Oh man, we've got blocks out at Brad Anderson right now. Who knows what kind of entourage of power plants Farmer Bruce is going to stock for that. He's busy right now though. He's driving out to Glamis, California to go play in the sand dunes over Thanksgiving weekend. So he's distracted here, but Farmer Bruce has you never know what that guy's going to come home with. He's actually made a recent radical purchase that I'm excited to share with you guys, but I want to wait until he gets it home to share it with you guys. But it's actually, should I give a teaser or should we just move on?
What is it? Well, this is a podcast. There's no teasing.
I'm not going to tell you the whole thing, but Farmer Bruce recently acquired something that isn't a pulling vehicle, but it has more horsepower than my pulling tractor, and he expects and thinks I'm going to be driving it.
It is a.
So anyway, we're gonna move on from that. I'll share pictures once he gets it home. But yeah, he purchased something that has more horsepower than my pulling tractor, and yeah, who knows how much we're gonna run that this summer? In between work and all of this tractor pulling and all that. But you never know what that guy's gonna do. So
I think we have some fan questions we need to get to.
Yes,
we've
let's
been
move
pretty
on.
chatty.
Our hotline.
Yeah, the
Good
hotline.
spot. Moral of the story.
Yeah.
And No Practice Podcast, we'll take some credit for it. Fire away, Tyler.
All right. Here we go. We've got the fan hotline, which once again, you can always call or text. Doesn't need to be during the show, can be after the show. It can be, if you're listening to this show 2 months after it hit the air, you can still text this line, shoot us your question, give it a call, whatever. All right, here we go. I love all things truck and tractor pulling, and especially love to listen to tech tips and tricks, history, and current news in the sport, whether it's PPL, NTPA, Outlaws, region, and state pulling. As a fan, should fans stop looking at the message boards like pulloff.com? I listen to your podcast and get very excited about the next season and learning about the up-and-coming season and changes. Then I go and read the message boards, and it takes the wind out of a fan's sails because they act like the world is coming to an end and there's no hope in pulling. Is there hope in pulling? And they're just negative Nellies. What are your thoughts?
I didn't know pulloff.com set a website.
Well, of course we knew it's a website. We've all looked at it. I feel like there's some people on there that just like the loudest people sometimes are the ones with the most negative attitudes.
In the grand scheme of things, that was relevant in the 90s. I don't even.
The old midnight mistress message board.
Fonda's message board was huge.
So it's no secret. I'm involved with full pull business day to day.
I've heard that.
And
I've heard that.
And I've had meetings where people talk about pulloff.com, and I've challenged them and said, what the hell is pulloff.com? Because I knew what it was, and there's a way you can go search through this. I'm not the guy, but apparently they have 150 visitors a day on that site, which I guess is a lot, but we had almost 30,000 people watch this last show. So I guess it's all relative to what you're reading and what you see, right?
Well, I would say it's anything pulling related. If you're thinking about it and you're trying to consume pulling related content, I'm not going to sit here and
150 people a day versus 30,000 people watch a podcast.
I'm not going to try and sit here and talk somebody out of, digesting more pulling related content, but don't let a loud minority, change your opinion on something.
What are those people called that really get the thing going? Keyboard pullers? Is that
negative Nellies? I believe is what
negative Nellies. What he says. I thought it was keyboard pullers or keyboard warriors.
Yeah, I think we should establish do you have to have a username, or can anyone get on there?
No, that's usually the way it works. If in my mind, if you're going to make a statement, you better put your name. Yeah, because and for folks that want to know this, keep this in mind, because I hope you come up with the most vile thing that you could possibly think about this podcast, the sport of pulling, whatever, because we will call you. We have your number.
No. We should challenge our listeners to go to that website and talk about how terrible we are.
Well,
the worst comment about us on pulloff.com will be featured in 2 weeks.
This is a couple years back, but we had a segment when we first started on pulloff.com, hater inbox, and the guy who owns that sent me there was some type of hate message, and I can't remember how it was. I shouldn't say hate message. He was very opinionated on what he thought of me, and it came to me. And I've been trying to get a hold of the guy for 5 weeks straight, and he never got back to me. And then I saw him in a hallway somewhere, and he said, "Hey, I just want to say hello, and I hope you're not mad." I'm like, "I'm not mad." Consume pulling however you want it. You can't control what people say. Pulloff.com we wouldn't be where we are without pulloff.com.
Chase walks around in Vegas, and people tell him he sucks out there because we're so well known.
Well, but I'm being mean. Pulloff.com, you help pulling in your own way. I just think they need to have a little more police officers.
I think those things are good because it keeps building stuff around. I think people get a little too carried away. I think those things are good for like unveils and stuff like that. Like you said, now there's video content and stuff now. That's basically two truck drivers talking. Hey, what truck are you? I'm gonna come over and beat your ass. Oh, I'm in a black Peterbilt. Come get me. Kind of deal. That stuff starts fueling the fire, and there really gets some heated words said back and forth to each other. I used to go on that stuff when I was younger and read the comments just to get a good laugh.
I used to get on that all the time as a kid, so I don't want to be a hypocrite.
If I ever commented, most of the time, I say most of the time, I think every time I put my name down, which I think most people need to do.
Now you just got Facebook, Adam. You can just say yourself.
Yeah. That's actually how this started, isn't it? Chase is like, well, Adam's make all these comments on Facebook. Maybe we just have a show where you can run your mouth.
Maybe it's an idea that whoever the director is, pulloff.com, I'm sorry, I cannot remember your name, but we need to get him on here.
Dick and Jake Morgan.
It's what?
Dick and Jake Morgan, I think.
Dick and Jake Morgan. Let's get them on here as a guest, and they can tell us the vision behind pulloff.com.
Hey, what have you had to delete off the message board because it was so bad?
The worst thing.
Yeah.
I still like the thought of whoever can say the worst thing about us on there. We get to feature that comment 2 weeks from now. I think that'd be fun.
Just someone remind me to check the internet for that because I forget.
Yes. All right. Mental note. 13 days from now, check pulloff.com. All right. Moving on to the next question here. What else we got? I think we got a couple of these. What is Tyler's dog we see in the background with the black tail? Yep, that would be Courtney's dog Mac. He's lately, I don't know why, he's been making a couple of appearances from time to time, and he keeps walking by. Everybody thinks that I'm in a nice like little studio in a room, but I basically have a little backdrop behind me, and I'm in the middle of like a 80 by 150 industrial building. So there's just a dog roaming around, and he's a black lab, and his name is Mac. And that's the dog. So all right, next question.
Are you calling Courtney a lucky lady?
Yeah, for sure. All right. What I don't understand is why they pick and choose when to enforce rules. I think there needs to be consistency, and they need to enforce them at every event. It's never the same result. Boy, I don't know. That comment almost deserves a positivity check. That's close.
That's gasoline.
I would say it's hard to touch on that without knowing a specific topic. I feel like they're getting more consistent. I feel like things are getting better. Chase, top example of when consistency wasn't present in rules enforcement. 3, 2, 1, go.
I don't.
Chase,
I think this one you're never going to fix it. This is always going to be a problem because it's like every tech official. They're not AI. They're opinion based, right? So,
okay, Chase, you're kind of taking a political approach. Adam, do you have a good example?
I don't know if it's a rule. I think there is a rule in the rule book somewhere, but usually the length of the track has something to do with that.
Oh, here we go. Classic Adam here. Classic Adam.
Hey, what was it last show, Tyler? He said he gave a sour answer. I just gave one myself.
Yeah. Oh, no. Adam's answer during the fan hotline was, whatever.
I just gave it, whatever.
Yeah. Pull-offs at BG. All right, we saw an example there.
I think track distance, I agree with Adam. Pull-offs versus not pull-offs, and like how far we going.
I think what I'm kind of mentioning there, and I understand it's a very hard subject to cross. Basically, it says in the rule book, I do believe, or it's been mentioned before, that the track is 350 feet. If anybody goes past that, especially the first puller in the class, that they will automatically reset the sled. And I think that's been touched on a couple times by a few people, and there's varying results when that happens.
That is true, and we see Todd Morris here checking in. I guess I asked for examples, so we're getting them. It says, "Don't get me started on this because they."
I forgot about that one.
Keyboard there because they something John Link last year at BG. They did. We
covered it.
Good job there. We covered it. We don't want to beat that dead horse. I would like to think if they could do that over again a different way.
But they did, didn't they not, Adam? Did they not DQ somebody after that? Did they?
Oh yeah,
I can't remember, but someone else got DQ'd, and someone came to me and said, "Will you fuck that guy?"
yeah. I don't know.
I do recall that after we had John on. Somebody got
I can't remember the time and place, but it happened somewhere else.
Braden Shramick, I saw it.
Yeah, in the Ratchet Strap.
Orange Pro Stock got DQ'd for excessive flood.
We also see Chase's run at the Pullers Championship. I mean, I feel like we covered that, and I feel like they owned that and said, well, if that's what happened, then in the heat of the moment, like we.
I never got a sorry though.
Yeah, well,
it cost me my leg hair for about 6 months. It's back. By the way, it's back. You can't tell anymore now.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that in hindsight, though, I think the inconsistency with Chase was worth it because we got to wax his leg on the podcast. So I'm going to say
if that had been you think you'd have got the same treatment?
Oh yeah,
Hey, Adam got the.
We talking? I did.
Adam got the same treatment later, so yeah, I was just the first one to go, right?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I'd like to think they're getting more consistent. And I will say in the NTPA rules, one of the announcements is that effective the 1st of January in 2026, if on-track decision is contested, the NTPA appeal process must be followed. If appeal is accepted, NTPA has the right to consider using video for further evaluation while not mandatory. Guys, we talked about this on the show. We beat this dead horse. Why are we on pulloff.com? I'm trying to read NTPA.
It's in Schultz's search history from 5 minutes ago.
Guys, this is big. Video review next season. It says only official NTPA video, i.e. from Full Pull and or AP Productions, will be utilized in this consideration. No personal contestant, spectator, or non-official video allowed to be utilized regardless of the situation. But this has never been the case before. I think this past year, somebody may have touched the chalk line in the pro stock class. Allegedly. We don't know. Couldn't use video review.
I think we know.
But now they're saying you can contest it. They will review video and go from there. So I feel like that's a win.
Is that
that's
the no practice podcast rule? They should give that to us.
I mean, I like to take we take credit for very little, so we're not going to take credit for that. But I think that's big. So as far as consistency, I'd like to think that new rule will push towards a more consistent evaluation of certain things.
So
and
it
we
means
even see Todd Morris saying, hell yeah.
Does that mean if your intercooler's leaking and they didn't catch it going down the track, but they see it on video replay, you could be DQ'd?
Adam, I think that question could earn you a positivity check. You know what?
It's been a while. Positivity check.
Yeah.
You know what's until the NTPA and PPL broke the internet over the weekend, this was going to be a big topic, and I forgot all about it till now. Instant replay and pulling.
Instant replay and pulling. That's huge.
I want to know who's do we get like a flag to throw at somebody? Can you throw something at Marvin like the
challenge flag?
Ooh, a challenge flag.
We throw a beer can on the track.
or it just falls off your vehicle as you're going to the track, Chase.
No, come on now. But I mean, speaking of that,
what is the proper protocol to go tell Marvin, I want to challenge that guy?
Well, I mean, you've got your protest, procedure, Chase. And speaking of protests, the protest fee has increased from $500 to $2,000 for all protests except fuel and water, which will remain at $1,000. Both protested and protester items or vehicles will be subject to the same inspection. I think that's new, but I like that. Please clarify if that's new or not.
We're going to tear your stuff down, then we're going to tear your stuff down.
Yeah. So if I want to be a dick to Chase and say, I think your motor's illegal, you have to tear it apart, well, then guess what? I have to tear mine apart as well. So I think that's pretty good stuff. And in all honesty, for something like challenging somebody's engine, if they got to tear it apart, $500 is not enough.
Does that mean hey, I got an idea then. This is what brings it all up since we've been talking about this anyways. And maybe some people take too long to leave the starting line. We put a timer up. It's just like an NFL coach. You have your flag, and you got the countdown, and you get to throw it before they take off, right?
That'd be quite something. I don't know if we're going to quite get to that level, but yeah, it's interesting to think about. Do we have one final fan question? I'm trying to remember. how many they said we had. Do we have one more? Okay. Mandatory Hans device. What's y'all's opinion? Adam, what do you think?
Mandatory? Let's start with putting roll cages and two-wheelers before we start going Hans devices on mini rod.
No.
Well, for a guy that does both, I think everyone in mini rod.
But you have a roll cage, Chase.
Huh?
You have a roll cage.
That's what I said, for a guy that does both, I can comment.
Right, there you go.
I don't know. It's, nothing, no rule, no safe. A lot of safety rules aren't made until something bad happens. We joke around a lot, but I take this stuff personally serious. Never want to see anybody get hurt. There's just no one ever wants to see anyone get hurt. And me personally, I think mini rods, you could use a Hans device in those, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, well, I've seen a couple passes even this past year where maybe a little bit too much movement in the seat, so maybe not a bad idea. I looked into it here not too long ago. I think Chase wears one, don't you?
I do when I drive a mini rod.
Yeah. And Tyler, do you have one?
I've never even put one on before.
Yeah.
But I've gone on quite a few wild rides, and I mean, I haven't broke my neck or anything, but I suppose it wouldn't hurt. I should probably get one. And
Mr. LaRue, stop. When's the last time you've seen a two-wheel drive? The last time I seen one pretty bad off was Kelly Nichols.
That
that
very
was
rough.
Pretty rough ride. Hence, she actually has a 5-point harness and a roll cage in that two-wheel drive. I would like to seen that if she didn't. If she had the mandatory lap belt with the back.
I was going to say, just to clarify, you kind of skated over that. I'm sorry to pull a chase and interrupt you, but as far as the rules go in the two-wheel drive, you only have to use a lap belt, correct? Mm-hmm. Just a lap belt. That's wild.
I use a 5-point.
Yeah.
And I go, pulling is not.
Sorry, guys, we don't mean to make you mad, but I mean, I think a Hans device is good in mini rod. I also think we maybe need to look in other places too if we're talking about safety.
I think two-wheel drives should have roll cages, honestly, because, dude, if you ever watched the Dale Earnhardt documentary, I know I talk about that show every 2 weeks, but that was the baddest human being to ever in motorsports, arguably. And you couldn't take him down, but you know what? Damn it, he died too. And since then, they put Hans devices in cars, and nobody's died. So,
yeah,
I mean, it's as simple as you watch that documentary on Amazon Prime. That dude was never
open face helmet.
Yeah, there was no taking Dale Earnhardt down until one thing happened, and then, damn it, I wish we'd had Hans devices.
If you looked at that in the day, back in the 1960s and 70s, I think they did just have a lap belt in some of those cars running around 200 mile an hour around the track. Just to think, look how goofy, when you look back at the old pictures of in the early 90s of tractors without a roll cage.
Oh,
you look at it now and it's like, who would ever climbed on that?
The most interesting thing, and we had Kyle Petty on here 2 shows ago. Obviously, I didn't want to bring that up, but there's not been a fatality in a NASCAR regulated vehicle since Dale Earnhardt. That's crazy. But all it took was the best dude ever dying because of a Hans device and then fix everything. So pulling's not NASCAR, but I don't want to be a part of that one time where we change rules. That's just me.
Speaking of safety, and somebody mentioned an open-faced helmet, it blows my mind how many people will make a pass in a pulling vehicle with their visor up on their helmet.
Yep.
Yeah.
There was a rule about that one point in time, but obviously we're not going to follow that rule either.
When I drop I'll leave mine up because I have a firewall though, but maybe I should put it down.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I've had it happen to me once. Larry Richwine actually had on his laptop when he may still have, he probably don't have that computer anymore. There was a picture, and I sent it to Chase, or Chase is actually when it sent me the picture years ago at Hutchinson, Minnesota. I broke a transmission, and when it split the case and sparks went out, it lit my blow-by tubes on fire, and all the fire came up the cowling that we used to run on there, and it went into my face. And I always used to pull my visor down. I've always ran it down. And Larry goes, "Your visor came up on your helmet." And I said, no, it didn't. He said, yeah, it did. I said, no, it didn't. I said, yeah, it did. I have a picture of it right here. And there was you could see the crack. I think when I slammed down, the visor came up from the inertia and it singed my eyebrows and my eyelashes and stuff like that. And I saw Mike Wilhite in Tennessee one time. Was going down the track. That's a crazy video. Maybe we should bring that up sometime of his light superstock blowing up on him. It burned his face really bad. So ever since those, I've always put my visor down no matter what.
Yeah.
It's a scary thing.
Wild. Well, speaking of bad rides, should we pivot into our man, I wish there was practice segment here?
Yeah, I think it's a time. Let's show the video. Let's show the video backstage.
Yeah, we talked a couple of weeks ago about diversifying, the kind of videos and guests that we're going to come on and talk to. And I think this is the first time we're really diversifying. We're still talking pulling here, but let's roll the footage here on what happened.
The No Practice Podcast. Man, I wish there was a practice segment.
Oh my God!
Nope. Here we go. Bluegrass Snacks, Liberty, Kentucky.
Yeah, is this Tim Peters here we've got?
It sure is.
Tim, we're watching a video of a Blue Garden tractor here, and things don't go so hot for you, Tim. Can you break it down for us on what happened there?
Well, last couple of weeks ago, we were in Liberty, Kentucky for the National Garden Tractor Pulling Series, second series of the month, second series. So in the wintertime, we have indoor pulls throughout the Midwest and eastern United States.
Of course, yeah.
So this incident here is my super stock tractor, 90 horsepower mechanical fuel injected tractor. The frame is about 20 years old and this is the big deal of what happened. When my fabricator guy fabbed the front weight bar, let me go back one step.
Okay.
So according to the NGTPS rules, wheelbase is 56 inches.
Of course.
And you can have a front weight bar stick out 8 feet from the center of the rear tires.
You had her out there, I got to say.
Yeah, so they're all sticking out there about 4 feet.
Yeah.
Not quite. But so back in the day when we first had that made, fabricated, my guy used like 10 or 12 gauge steel with a 1 3/4 inch square tube weight bar for the front weight bar to slide out.
Yeah.
So, and back then we only used to run like 60 pounds on the front of your tractor.
Okay? Yeah. How much you got now, though?
So now that day was the most I ever put on, 125 pounds.
Ooh.
When you go to these indoor events, they're great power tracks, just great power tracks.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking at these tires, too. They look like
perfect wrinkles.
I tell you what.
Well, they're Russ Nichols tires.
Okay.
Russ Nichols designed that.
Shout out to Russ. Mean biting tires. Rip the weight box right off of them, right?
Yeah. So and that I was. If you probably didn't see the mile per hour on that, most of those tractors that day in the super stock class were running about high 15, 16 miles an hour, and I was at 11 miles an hour when that happened. And that poke just broke off. It wore over time. I thought I had 1/4 inch bolts in it, but when I took it all apart, I did have 5/16 bolts in it.
Okay.
But I look at the thing and it's like, yeah, this thing is worn out. The frame is an original garden tractor frame that I had extended 2.5 inches on each end to get my 56 inch wheelbase and stuff. They make aftermarket frames now and everything. So, it took me for a ride. It didn't take me for a ride. Luckily, I wasn't injured at all.
Did you have a Hans device?
Man, I got 125 pounds on the front, and the front end still coming way up.
Yeah, it's. I gotta say, it was impressive. Chase is wondering, were you wearing a Hans device?
Does it look like it?
No, sir, it doesn't. But I was just trying to patronize.
There's not even a seatbelt on that.
We were just talking Hans devices. No offense there.
Yeah, I'd like to think my big belly kind of keeps me from slamming too far forward too. So tell us about this thing. You say 90 horse. Give us a rundown of the power plant in that beast.
So back in the days when tractor pulling started, the main motors were Kohler motors, still Kohler block motors. That's a copy of an original 16 horse Kohler block. They make aftermarket blocks now.
Okay.
So those old Kohler blocks were all finned. When they came out with the aftermarket blocks, they took the fins away and just made it one big jug on the outside.
Oh, yeah. We like big jugs, Jim.
So the old Kohler was a 4x4 inch stroke, 50 cubic inch you were allowed.
Decent.
So you're still at 50.5 cubic inch, but I'm running a 4 5/8 piston with like a 3.16 stroke, something like that.
Oh, wow. You're really getting to the nitty-gritty details. You know the competitors are going to hear that, Jim.
Chase is going to ask for a gear ratio here before long.
2 or 3 good motor guys out there, and we all buy from the same guy.
Okay, that makes sense. So I mean, what kind of fuel are you running in that thing?
So we are running methanol in them.
Oh, yeah, you're getting spicy with it. I saw a huge velocity stack hanging out of the side of that thing, too.
Yeah, that's all the mechanical fuel injecting that my motor is from Midwest Super Cub.
Okay.
And they do a heck of a job. Those motors are really turning some horsepower.
How many passes you put on that bad girl in a season before you got to tear it apart?
Well, I always send the motors back out. You can get a couple years out of it because you're pulling about 250 feet all the time. You can tell when something's going bad that needs to be freshened up, you know?
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. How much weight do they weigh total? Driver, vehicle, everything.
Okay, so myself, the tractor is 1,050 pounds.
Okay.
So I have about 145 pounds of movable weight for myself because I'm going to say it. I weigh 240 pounds.
Oh, no. Hey, I used to be there myself. I tell you what, and that's a good happy weight. You can kind of just really get in there at a buffet and you can do some damage in my past experience.
Yeah. I think my weight bar now, I got to make it a little longer so I can probably put about 160 pounds on the front if we have to. I know some of those other guys are really putting some weight on the front. And,
well, if you take this holiday season seriously and really get after it, Thanksgiving and Christmas, you can probably put a couple more pounds in the driver's seat there,
okay.
Yeah, I know you're telling me. I can relate. I understand. Well, I got to say these things are pretty. Like, what kind of wheel speed are you turning there? Do you know?
Okay, so most of those guys were going down the track at they're probably turning like 22, 23 miles an hour. They're going down the track. Like I said, in my class, they were averaging about 15 and a half to 16 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get pretty good.
Let's get with the program. How many years you been doing it?
Okay, so I really started back in 1970.
Oh, you're a legend of the sport.
I'm thinking 73 or something with an Alice Chalmers stocker back then. And then I turned 18 and beer drinking became more important than anything else.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
And after that, in 1992, I was at a pull. I went past the pole, said garden tractor pull. I went back the next week, went to it, and I was back hooked again.
Oh, yeah.
Stockers, and then I moved right up to the heavy stuff. I also have a V-twin Kohler Command, a 25 horse like they use for mowing your commercial lawns.
Oh, yeah.
That makes over 110 horsepower.
No, you're going to hurt yourself with that. You got to be careful.
No. That's good stuff.
Yes, garden tractor pulling, but these are some pretty serious machines. Like, from a dollars and cents standpoint, what do you think in one machine the most money somebody's had tied up in a single piece of equipment?
Well, you can think about a couple of guys I know, maybe Russ Nichols at the time when he used to pull garden tractors. He was up there with some money, probably close to $15,000-$20,000. And now at that time, we've got a couple guys that are at $25,000.
That's a pretty serious machine, really.
Oh, yes, it is. And there's all different types of classes in the winter we pull. There's about 6 different type of classes. Actually, next month, we're going to be out in Du Quoin, Illinois, December 12th and 13th. I know that might be out your way there somewhere. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But, we're going to be there the 12th and the 13th of December for pull number 3 in the winter months.
Nice. You ever have a couple too many brewskis and fire that bad girl up in the backyard and get her tipped over?
No. I was told don't do that because if the time you fire it up, you're going to break a rod or something.
Yeah, you ever throw a rod right through the block?
No, but I remember these blocks we have now are so heavy duty you can't do that.
Oh, no kidding.
Back in the day when they were just running the thin Kohler blocks, oh yeah, I seen the head pop off. I seen pistons pull out the side and stuff. A lot of safety involved, and I think probably you'll see with what happened with my tractor, they're going to check weight bar and make a rule for the thickness of material you have to have. Now, in my V-twin, I have, I believe, 5/16 material thick now on mine, so
yeah,
it'll hold.
that's probably a good call. I can relate. I once ripped a 1/2-inch hitch pin right out of my mini rod, and then they changed the rules to 5/8. So they kind of wait for someone to push those boundaries, and then they kind of step back and they say, all right, we better reevaluate things.
So Tim, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but appreciate you joining the No Practice podcast and sharing your stories. But do you mind telling the viewers and the fans what kind of gear ratio you're running currently with your garden tractor?
Actually, my nephew just texted me that a little while ago.
Yeah.
35-1.
35-1. That's almost as numerically high of a reduction as what Chase runs in his mini. So I must say that's quite impressive. Chase has got a pretty short stroke too, so he likes to turn some high RPMs. What's the highest RPM you think you've ever turned in that bad girl?
So they leave the line like 9,300 RPM.
Shoo!
Where my V twin will leave the line at 11.5 because it's got such a short stroke.
Yeah,
cylinder.
Chase is getting excited now. He's all about those,
He feels it in his
over
palms.
10,000, he starts to get a little stiff there, So
Well, some of those guys, they need to come out and see a garden tractor pull.
My stroke breaks rods.
Then you get a feel for things. So.
Absolutely, man. Well, we're glad to hear you survived that rough pass there, and you're going to get her put back together and keep laying down laps there. All right.
Hey, special shout out to your family member Andy for sending you over to us, and thanks for joining the podcast. We really appreciate you coming on.
That's not a problem. Thank you.
Absolutely. Have a good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Bye. And there you have it. We get to hear from one of the garden tractor pullers. It's always interesting seeing those different avenues of pulling. I would challenge our listeners to find like one of the roughest passes like an antique tractor has taken. Yeah. And send that in with some contact information so we can reach out to somebody, we're in like a 10-mile-an-hour class. Somebody got all squirrely and put her up on the Jersey barriers on the side of the track. We want to talk to that guy. So,
and we have the Amish guys that we still need to get in touch with. I have this video clip we'll show at some point, but I think this is the point of the show where we bring on our the highlight guests that we're doing this show around. Would you all argue that the Schmuckers are the biggest name out? Them and Masterson, the biggest name in pulling in the pro stock class.
I mean, from a longevity standpoint, I feel like they got to be right up there.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're some of the most respected pro stock pullers.
Yeah. So, without further ado, Kevin Schmucker joining us from somewhere near Canton, Ohio. I don't know the exact town. Is it Canton, Danny and Kevin, or what's the name of the town? Because I know you all resonate with the Canton Fair there, but what's the town you all are from?
Louisville. It's spelled just like Louisville.
It's spelled like Louisville.
No.
Yeah, spelled the same.
Spelled the same, but not pronounced like a redneck would say.
So would you say if you in Kentucky or just don't know how to read? Is that probably the Yeah. Well, Danny and Kevin, thank you all for joining No Practice Podcast. Sorry we're running late. I'm sure you all been hearing us rambling on about some of the happenings in the sport of pulling, but it's great to have you guys on. And looks like your all's winter's not just board there in the background. We have some tore down pro stocks getting ready for something one day. So tell us what we're looking at. Which one is that between you all, between your shoulders there, that has no engine, no sheet metal, no anything on it? Is that Rampage or Get Her Done?
Well, that's Rampage. We just took it apart in the last couple of days. Actually, the motor has not been out of that tractor since before Farm Show 23, so it's time for a little bit of love for that one. We actually broke it after the last pull back in October or September, so it's got a lot of runs on it, and it's time for a little maintenance.
Is that a normal service interval for a pro stock?
No, not we pushed it to the limit. We were going to put our spare motor in it to start the season last year. We got started and got fourth at Farley with the one that was in it. I thought, well, let's see what it'll do, and just kept going, making laps, and it was happy. So it made it clear to the end.
So, I mean, you say you haven't had the motor out of it, but you've had the head off of it, the oil pan off of it, things like that? Or are you trying to say that you had those pistons in that block for that many runs?
We had the head off it a few times in there. It went almost a whole year without the head or actually over a year without the head being off of it.
Hey.
But the same bearings and stuff have been in there since the start of the 23 season. And then
Holy
Dad's
cow.
tractor are done back there.
Yeah, behind
It was all new to start the season last year, and we actually broke our ProFab transmission in early September.
Larry.
It's
He's
on the
still
skid
support,
over.
though, right?
Yeah, it's on the skid over here, ready to head out to Wisconsin here as soon as I get it on an R&L truck, and hopefully he can make it a little tougher and make it hold up a little better. But he's been great to work with, and I'm sure he'll have a good fix for us.
So the Pro Stock class is arguably probably the most popular class in pulling. We have a ton of Pro Stock fans on here. So when you say it's getting some TLC or some loving since 2023, what does that consist of? Like, what all is happening to the Rampage engine right now?
Well, it's going to get a new crankshaft for sure because it's now a two-piece crankshaft. Hopefully it didn't ruin the block. Chances are when that happens, it's going to need maybe a block replacement too. But it'll be all gone through, all new piston sleeves, some head work. I'm sure Keith at Riverside Engine, he's been working with us for my dad for roughly 40 years. He's one of the best in the business, and hopefully he can find us a little more power and maybe we can be a little more competitive next year. This past summer, we struggled a little bit. Didn't do quite as well as we're used to, but as you can see, both tractors are apart. Usually this time of year, we kind of forget about tractor pulling a little bit and to get our farm work done. But when you got your ass kicked like we have the last year, it's we're going to get after it a little sooner this year and hopefully be ready by Louisville.
Now, you guys took a little bit different approach this year. You guys didn't really run for points this year, did you?
No, we haven't the last couple of years. Danny's got little kids. They're starting to get in stuff. And we kind of learned in 2020 when we didn't have any pulls that we did a hell of a lot better job of farming that year. So I heard you guys talking earlier about so many hooks. That's a problem in the Pro Stock class. We got 20 plus hooks. It's when you do everything yourself like we do, we don't have any paid mechanics. We got a couple buddies that have helped. My one buddy's helped me for 40 years. And I mean, when you do all your own work, it's hard. A couple of you guys know that. You guys do your own stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's just tough to make all of them.
Yeah. What do you think, in your opinion, the ideal season looks like for a number of hooks for a points series?
Besides a lot of money involved.
14 or 16 hooks should be the max.
I would agree
when the
with
Grand
that.
National was it was pretty nice. It wasn't too hard to follow, you know. But
And what was it this past season?
21.
I believe it was 18
Was it
because
18?
Farley was at the $50,000 shootout. So
Do you feel like that's the kind of the general consensus of the class, or do you think there's some competitors that prefer that higher quantity of hooks in a season?
I think everybody'd like to see it a little less. I mean, we're pushing these things awful hard, just like you guys are, and it's tough to make that many runs.
Maybe that many runs isn't that hard if you're given time in between hooks to actually look things over and maintenance stuff like yours. But like for some of the Grand National classes, you guys 2, 3, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. When you're a couple of years ago, you guys had like 24 hooks, I do believe, or something like that.
We start at Chapel Hill and we run every weekend till
through Labor Day.
Second week of September. We don't have a weekend off.
That's crazy. And then you got people, if they're, which I've seen you guys hit some OSTPA pulls this year, but like you also got a couple pulls around home where locals want you to come and run there, or you got one close. Maybe you want to try a few things, so you always try to sneak some in there. And
I cut my teeth in Ohio State, and I want to see it die. They got a pretty good deal going, and we like to support them.
The part I've learned the last couple of years with just the number of things I'm involved with now, the Pro Stock class is, again, it's one of the most popular classes in pulling, but when you leave NTBA Grand National and Champions Tour, the only other two places I think you can watch big Pro Stocks run are Ohio State and Badger State. Is that correct, or nothing beyond that?
Yeah, Ohio State used to be the best, I'd say, back in the 90s. I'd say Badger's probably a little better now, but they're both good.
but there's nowhere else you can run big pro stocks besides those 4 places.
No, they got Indiana, Illinois, all that. They got to either go PPL, or
5.0. It's dropped back to 5.0.
Right.
5.041s if we got light pro.
What's your all's thoughts on the 5.0 class as a whole? I know it's kind of new. Both of your all's facial reactions were exactly
the same.
They were exactly the same, like father, like son. So
There's
I think I can answer it for you. It's just not that cool, right?
Yeah, there's too many. I mean, I think they either, if they're going to recognize 4.1, they probably ought to forget 5.0. I mean, there's too much. That's my opinion. I think Danny.
So Danny, I don't know how much you watch this podcast, but we talk about that a lot. So there's a lot of classes, and again, there's different levels, there's different places to pull, but like there is too many classes. I think we all agree upon in pulling at the Grand National level. What would you think would be a simple way? Like we're V8 supercharged Hemi guys in the diesel tractor world. What's an easy fix for that solution at the Grand National level? And I'll let Danny and Kevin both can answer it.
I don't know. I mean, you like to eliminate classes, but then again, we have the complaint that there's too many vehicles in certain classes. So if you eliminate, Super Farm and all them guys go to 4.1, does anybody really want to watch 30 plus 4.1s every night? Just like pro stocks, 12, 14 tractors is plenty. Nobody wants to see 30. Nobody wants to see 40. Same with like you guys pulling into minis. When you have 25 plus tractors every night, it's too much. Even as much as you guys love minis, you probably don't want to sit and watch 25 of them.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Absolutely.
I think
I'm like at Bowling Green. I love pro stock, but I don't want to watch 50 of them.
Yeah. Or try to run a points championship when you got 50 vehicles there.
Yeah. One time at Bowling Green, I got in a pull-off Saturday night, and we had to warm our tractor back up to come back for the pull.
Come on.
Oh, that never happens.
It was like 3.5 hours later when we come back for the pull-off.
Well, you probably cooled it off by having like 6 leaf blowers sitting around it for a half hour,
Yeah, because you didn't know it was going to be that long. But
yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. I don't know like Bowling Green. There's too much stuff there. But how do you tell somebody they can't go there? That's
yeah.
I think I'm not speaking on their behalf. I think Bowling Green likes having big numbers because I think anyone can come and anyone can win. Or so.
Yep.
I feel like Bowling Green, like at this point, it is a spectacle, right? Like it's just a zoo of tractor pulling. So like, I don't know, maybe I'm alone on this, but I feel like if there's any event where it's just like, all right, fine, you can have too many, like it can be Bowling Green. That's fine. Yep. Like it is what it is. And I guess maybe that's just because like, that's the way I've always seen it. So I guess it is what it is. But outside of that, it gets a little frustrating when you roll into an event and you're like, okay, there's 31 of us here. That's a titch too much,
Well, I think what was the numbers at Bowling Green last couple of years? In the 40s?
50s?
Close to 50.
Okay, and 50. And so you look back at like last year's Grand National Circuit and how many people ran for points? 12?
Not even that. I think there was 10 tractors hit all the hooks, but there was about 25 with licenses.
Yeah, and it would show up sporadically at places, right?
Yep.
And then you look over at the PPL side, and I think they had 6.
Yeah,
like there's way more tractors, right? But
right.
I think I guess what it's pointing to are people are just starting to do maybe the pulls that they want to do, and maybe they just give up on the points chases,
Well, like us, we've won it. 4 times, it
means something when you do, though. I mean, that's a lot of hooks to run.
It does.
Absolutely means a lot.
I enjoyed it. We pulled 12 years in a row. We never missed a pull.
That's crazy.
So we enjoyed doing it. It's just some of those early ones out west are just tough.
Still farming.
Yeah, we're not done farming. And last year when I went to Farley, me and my wife took the tractors, and we're lucky to live close to Mike Connie, and Mike brought Danny on the jet. He stayed home, worked a couple more days, and just stuff like that.
Yeah, so I mean it's a tough thing, I guess, the farming really, because I don't know, maybe I just feel this way. I haven't really paid attention to it for long, 20 years or so, but it seems like the weather's changing, and like
Smaller
like
windows.
the harvest, smaller windows, maybe different
Everything's
times.
everything's a month later than it used to be, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
it just seems
Well,
like we've
seasons
changed
have
seasons.
Seems like the spring is later and the fall. We've
Right.
had nice weather here up until now. We still haven't had any really bad weather.
I mean, there's still people farming right now.
Yeah.
So, and they'll probably will be into December in some places. Whatever, but
So that makes it tough for us. I mean, I'd still like to win it. And we actually was talking maybe we would, and then added a couple, and
right
I'm glad for that. I never been to Macon. I probably would be cool to go there, but I've been to Evansville. I mean, I used to pull ATPA there years ago. That's
the no Practice Podcast is the promoter of that pool. Kevin, you gotta come now.
That's a great pull. We went there for 2 or 3 years in a row. We used to go there and then go to Owensville, and it was a good place.
Yeah, there was Owensboro, Kentucky. They had the big hillside, and there was numerous pools back in the day in this area that was kind of like a hotbed. That's kind of how we got to know Chase and their family. That circuit running back in through here.
I've been doing it so long, you guys don't even remember some of the stuff I went to. So you're too young.
Do you have any old stories you can share?
Yeah. Come on, break it down. Tell us how it all started.
Yeah, start it all out.
I used to be a drag racer, man. I was a motorhead then,
Tell us about that car. What's in that thing for a power plant?
It was just a cheap front engine dragster. It had a 327. I think it was 60 over or something. Naturally aspirated. Had a 2-speed power glide. That's my big tow rig.
Look at that Ford pickup. That thing's a beauty.
I used to piss some guys off though. I'd come in and win with that thing, and these guys have these laid out dragsters, and they didn't like that.
It sounds like it's the same as pro stock pulling.
Yeah, same thing.
Run us down the line here. Who we got standing here?
Oh, I don't even know who everybody's. Some of them guys are dead, but that's a bad thing. That's another thing that's hurt us. I got 3 guys on my crew that's died in the last 6-8 years. Everybody's getting older.
I see that Arius piston sticker, and I kind of get excited because that's pretty old school. I actually own an Arius engine, like the company that makes them. So that's cool to me.
Yeah, we were, I had a lot of fun with that thing, but then I started tractor pulling. It just seemed to fit better,
How long did you do that for, Kevin?
I had that car for about 3 years. Before that, I had a 70 Chevelle I used to run.
Oh, yeah.
This one ran 9 seconds, which that's slow now, but back then it was.
That's still moving.
Is that Danny sitting on a tire?
No, that's my little brother. Danny wasn't around when I had this.
I was gonna say, Chase, shit, do some math here, bro.
No,
I started
I thought you were
Danny there at Louisville. I started pulling, and I bought my 4430, and that's one of the old stock ones I used to pull. But I bought my 4430 in '81, and so I started '82. That's what it looked like at first. And I started pulling NTPA in Ohio State at about '85, I think.
What were you thinking whenever they mandated roll cages?
I was madder than hell. I thought, what the?
Yes.
But I heard you guys talking earlier. I wouldn't drive it without it.
Right,
look at
exactly.
Them, think how crazy you were.
Yeah, I mean, think about that. People didn't know. I mean, I guess the sled drug a lot harder and it wasn't as fast, but you still look at some of those runs.
We didn't have no power. Shit. When I first got that tractor, I probably had 1,000, 1,200 horse. That's all.
Right. Open face helmet on that thing?
Oh, we didn't even wear helmets at first.
Oh, that's true. I forgot it.
No fire suits.
Yeah. Miles of smiles. This is you see you cheesing going down the track of that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was first fire suit. Well, like there, that's Louisville.
Right
no
there.
fire suit.
Pause that one back in. That's a pretty cool picture.
That's That's probably 84 or 5.
Look at that crowd.
Got your Louisville coat on that they gave you. No, you didn't have no fire suit.
Hell yeah.
Explain the farm show at this at this stage. See, this is in the 80s, or Kevin?
Yeah, that was probably 84. That was the first year I went.
What was the farm show like then compared to now?
It was still cool. I mean, that's my favorite place to go. Always has been, always will. The first year I went, I was parked next to Don Masterson. I probably didn't belong there because mine didn't run very good. And Don was the nicest guy in the world. He helped me. told me what to do. You know, I'll never forget that as long as I live. I always tell Kevin that. And I mean, we didn't do very well, but then we come up the ladder pretty quick. I mean, I've won the farm show probably 9 or 10 times, and the finals 4 times. So,
right.
I mean,
looking back at the first trip to Louisville, what was the thing? Like, you left there and go, we need this to be better.
Well,
motor,
tires. I had those. You see the cleats on them tires, you know.
Oh
right.
yeah.
And we
Those are
cut them
good.
ourselves, and I mean, I didn't have anything. So, you know, we bought better tires, bigger turbo. That thing there, that's probably had a 404 John Deere block and a pump on it back end. And I mean, we just need more power. And
Kevin, how long would that smoke pipe last in your current Pro Stock?
The one today is twice that size.
Yeah, that's 4 inch.
So to set the scene, if you were to pluck that tractor right there and hook it to a modern day sled and a modern day Pro Stock class, I mean, clearly it's going to be a mile behind, but how far do you think that thing's going?
Oh, it wouldn't even beat a super farm.
No.
It wouldn't beat I mean, they didn't run. You watch old videos, you can read Firestone on the tires are turning that slow. I mean,
yeah, you can actually see the wheels wobbling because they're spinning so slow.
It's unreal how it's changed. I mean, I can't believe I'm still doing it. I wouldn't be if I didn't have Danny. I mean, I'd have quit a long time ago because he grew up with us around it. He used to tear his pedal tractor apart while we were doing this, and he learned to be a good mechanic, and we do all our own stuff. I mean, that's the only way we can afford it. I shouldn't have 2 of them, but the only way we can afford it is because we do it ourselves.
Well, the way my dad put it, if you're dragging one there to try to win $700, you might as well try to have 2 chances at it.
You got room in the trailer, you might as well.
That's
I've
right.
talked about selling mine the last couple of years, but I don't know. I don't know what I'd do. You know, I still love doing it, and you know, my wife likes it, my kids, grandkids, everybody, and then all the people I've met. You know, I got better friends tractor pulling than anywhere else. You know.
So now that we kind of see the things going the direction that they are with this stuff, you know, talked about all this stuff. What do you think about pulls like that PPL circuit where it's 10,000 to win?
I thought Farley was cool last year. I'd do it again. I'm like you said earlier, I'd be in. I thought that was a great show. I mean, Danny did well.
Track's really good.
The track was the best one we've been on in 3 or 4 years.
Right.
I mean, I'm okay with that. I want to see more about it. I want to see where they're going to be, and I mean, and the thing that bothers me, you know, we're a 2 tractor team. We probably ain't going to get both of them in. If we get, you know, that's going to be the big thing. How they going to pick 15 Pro Stocks?
They're going to pick me over Adam and Mini Rod. So
I don't know about that, Chase.
You know, and just like you, Adam, you ain't going to want to split yours up. I mean, none of us do.
Exactly. And I guess that's what we're getting at with all this stuff. As you increase the stuff like that and then maybe the demand for it turns up, obviously the way to do it is you dedicate yourself to a year of running the points with that organization.
Right.
Running good enough to finish in the top 15 and securing it that way. That's the way to do it.
We have
obviously the first year out, it's an open book. But I can see the enticement for that. So I respect that.
With PPL, you know, I like them guys. We've run a few of their polls. It just geographically NTPA works better for us. I mean, that's why we do it. I would go either way.
I guess it was the question. What do you think about that? Like, you start looking at the money towards the schedule of what you're used to going to and the pulls that work best for you. Is the schedule more important, or, you know, what are the things that dictate what pulls you go to?
It's tough for us to go in June. If we can go a couple weekends in June, that's fine. We can't be gone every week in June. July and August, let's go. Yeah, we'll go there in September. When we had 3 or 4 weekends in the month of June, that was really tough for us. We're finishing up planting, spraying, fertilizing our corn. You know, when we do go to them early pulls, sometimes we don't do very well because we're just not ready. Or it's one of us, and we're better off as a team. We have some help that goes with us to all the pulls, but
it's not
when we're 100% is when we're both there.
Well, the other side of it is probably the years that you run from points, you're so exhausted at the end of the year, you don't want to look at the tractors probably until right before Louisville.
Yeah.
You kind of call, hey, Phil, when are you going to get a chance to get me some parts so I can kind of schedule when I can tear this thing down?
Normally, those things would be all together back here.
Right. That's why mine are still sitting back here. I haven't fucking touched nothing.
You wouldn't have. But mine, I broke a transmission at Ohio State pole, and that ended my year, and we just kind of let it set the rest of the year. And the motor hit 7,800, 7,900, so it's out of fills. You got to make sure everything stayed in it, but could have stretched some things,
Yeah.
But you all said June's not good, but you're coming to the No Practice Podcast Nationals, right?
I think I will. I like that.
All right, good. We're gonna cut you off air if you said no, Kevin. No.
It's not terribly far. It's only 8 hours, not 16 like Hutch.
Right.
All right. I just want to make sure you all have a lot of fans, if you believe it or not. There's a lot of people watching this, but we can end this if you don't support the No Practice Podcast Nationals.
You guys can tell them to shut up. Don't worry.
Yeah, I liked Evansville. We used to go down there, and Mike Sarver lived down there. I don't know if you guys remember Mike.
Green Extreme.
He'd have everybody over to his place swimming and cook out, and then we'd go to Owensboro. I mean, we used to have fun. The only bad thing about when we pulled back here in the day, we pulled during the day, and I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Because the track was, how daytime tracks are.
So what do you remember about that place? I think I was pretty neat for me. It's kind of some of the places you go to where you pull down the track and they drag you in front of the bleachers.
Yep.
And you get to, that's a different effect that maybe you don't see at some places.
Yep.
But I always remembered that.
I was kind of happy to see that one. Macon, Missouri, that's probably 10, 12 hours for us, but I don't know. Like we said, we haven't even thought.
What would you think about pulling in Florida?
I'd like to go to Florida.
in March.
I'd like to go. See, they said they pulled the pro stocks and nobody wanted to go. Well, nobody ever asked me. I mean, I don't know if I want to go every year, but I'd like to go.
Okay, so I hate to quit talking, guys, but I think this brings up a good point. Do you wish there was maybe some more conversations with the pullers on maybe some of the dates or, things that you could be in on? I mean, like you just said, you don't get asked. You guys have been pulling. You've been pulling longer than a lot of people in the class, and you don't get any input in on maybe what the class that you run in should do.
Unanimous vote on mini rods, Adam.
Okay. Unanimous vote. Okay. I never fucking got asked one time. Whatever.
My wife.
Hang on a second. Wellington, Ohio, when you're cutting your tires, you didn't get asked?
About what?
Would you be down to go to Florida?
Nobody ever asked.
I didn't.
That.
Oh, all right. Well,
my wife and I were down in Florida a couple of years ago, and I went to Ocala just to watch. They had a big pull there. You never seen so many people, and they shut the gates. You couldn't get in the place.
Is that where they're blowing smoke inside the roof? And
and then it goes outside. It's inside, and then part of it's outside. But
indoor-outdoor rodeo thing, yeah.
Those people were crazy, and they really didn't have that good of classes there. I mean, there was a mini class. I think Jeff Hurt was there and a few. But
if there's a pull, Jeff Hurt's going to be there. I'm telling you, he's dedicated.
But in the track wasn't real good, but you're going to expect that when you go somewhere like that.
Yeah. Mini rods, I think they'll be really good down there on that dirt.
Yeah,
I personally believe that.
Yeah, it's kind of sandy, or I don't know what you call it.
Gotcha.
We always ask Greg Randall when we would go to Cloverdale and freeze in January, why aren't we going to Florida in the wintertime?
Somewhere warm.
It'd be cool to go once. Maybe not every year.
Cloverdale was interesting.
Up and do 4 classes this year, 4 classes next, and do something different. But it'd be fun to go once.
Well, Greg Randall listens to this show on occasion, so hopefully this word gets back.
Greg, we want to go to Florida.
Yeah. Greg, ask these boys what they want to do. What are you doing? Come on now.
I mean, I know we didn't run the points, and maybe that's why we didn't get asked. We weren't like we used to be.
Maybe it's the reason why you didn't run the points, though.
Sometimes you just need a break. You guys have done it.
Yeah.
Every so many years, you just need to.
Oh man!
As Fred Freeman says, do it until you're mad at it and you hate it. Then you'll be ready to be done.
And we got that way a few years there. I couldn't even find anybody who wanted to go anymore.
Right.
It got late August. Everybody was burnt out.
And we're lucky. Once we get through Rockwell, we only leave the state one more time the rest of the season.
Yeah.
it gets better for us as the season goes. Now the guys that live, in Iowa and Wisconsin, it kind of goes the other way for them.
Oh yeah.
It's like the fight Napoleon in Wellington. Guys complain a lot about one hook. It doesn't bother us because it ain't very far away.
But we wouldn't want to go to Farley for one.
Right.
I understand where they're coming from.
Right.
So we're obviously you guys are pretty humble guys, but you do have fans. So Schmucker Farms is obviously your all's day-to-day job. Do you mind talking about what you all do from a farming standpoint? I mean, obviously we know you're near the Canton, Ohio area, but
we're grain farm. We're grain farmers mainly. Danny's got a few beef cattle, but we used to milk cows, but that's not a very tractor pull friendly thing to do. So we quit that in 2018, 19. We farm about close to 3,000 acres, and I used to be in partnership with my brothers. Now Danny's buying out. One brother's retired, the other one still helps a little bit, but it's pretty much just me and him, and some of his friends help us a little bit. And we do a lot of work for for a couple guys. We don't hire nobody. And
Yeah. So how does that go? Like when you used to be in partnership with your brothers, was it anything like my father in partnership with his brothers? Did you guys have pretty epic screaming matches? Maybe have a little fisticuff from time to time?
We weren't too bad. My brothers were pretty good. They pretty much left me run the show, and they kind of were okay with it. And they're pretty good. The older one, he's going to be 70. He's selling his shares to Danny, and he wants Danny to have it because he knows that's the future of it. So, we got along pretty well. Between our whole family, probably own 1,800, 2,000 acres. So, we get along pretty good. We really do.
That's awesome. And how long has that been a generational thing? You talk about
would Danny be the fifth generation? Danny will be, and each one has bought farms. Like I've bought 6 or 7 farms. My dad bought 4 or 5. My grandpa had 2 or 3 when he was doing. Each generation's added to it. And it's getting hard because ground around here brings 15 to 20,000 an acre or more. Yeah.
That's cheap, probably, right?
You got to buy it.
Yeah.
If you want to keep farming,
it doesn't get cheaper.
No, it never will.
Never will.
No. But we do. We're pretty into it. We do it right. If you're going to do it, you do it right. And a lot of people ask how we can afford to pull like we do. And it's working hard and doing your own stuff. And we always said we'd like to make a rule in our class that when you get to a pull, everybody has their injector pump off, and if you want to drive, you got to know how to put it on. That'd take about half the class out.
Oh, that can get interesting.
I'll bet it'd be more than that.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
I got nothing against these, like Chaos and all them places doing the whole thing, and you pick it up and go pulling. That if you can afford that, I guess that's cool. But I come from the old school. I paid my dues. I used to be happy if I could leave the track under my own power. And, that's half. I think that's half of the satisfaction.
The fun of it. I agree with you
100%. I think Danny would rather work on them than drive. I don't know. I think
last winter, that tractor right there looked like that about 2 weeks before Louisville. We put it together, went down there and hit the sand pile. That was just pretty cool. Nothing fell off, nothing broke, nothing leaked. That's just
hit the sand pile, but didn't get to come back for the pull-off.
Maybe you would take us through some of that.
No, you guys already went through that.
Hey, Kevin, since you brought it up,
I don't know that story actually.
Yeah,
tell me.
It wasn't anybody's fault. The smoke tube broke. I think if a smoke tube wouldn't have broke, I'd have been in the pull-off. But when the smoke tube broke and the sled sat for 15, 20 minutes, we sat down there and we said, this track's going to change. This is not going to be good. And the very first one to come was, I think, Shelton's, and they just blew it into the sand.
Right.
And I ain't taking nothing away from them, but, and then 2 of the next 3, I think, did it. And
Do you think they can pull their injection pump off and put it back in?
I'm telling you, I'd like to make that rule. How many do you think they do?
So, hey, Kevin, since you brought it up, and Kevin Masterson doesn't count, who is if that was a rule, who would be your most feared opponent if everyone had to put their own injection pumps on besides Kevin?
I was ready for that. If you guys asked me that, I'd say Lemke's at Robbie and Esden, because all the years we won the points, they were always second, and the years he won the points, we were second. I mean, we had battles for. And Robbie's he's like us. I mean, he does everything. He's smart. Both of them guys, and that means a lot to me. I mean, like I said, I ain't taking nothing away from guys that can afford to have it done, but I just think it's cool. I mean, I think like Adam, I know you do everything your own. I know Tyler does. I don't know Chase that well.
We don't know about Chase.
But I just think it's I don't know.
I will say I don't think I got to think how to word this without offending people. It's unfortunate that some people are missing out on the feeling of like, and I don't want to sound bragging here because we get our ass kicked all the time, but that feeling of when you TIG weld a chassis up completely yourself and you put those sleeves in that block, you degreed in the cam, you struggled to drop that effing crankshaft in right with the counterweights hitting and cussing and swearing at each other, put all those bearings in, go through, torque the head just right, and you fire it up and it makes noise and you're trying to think to yourself, oh my God, did I build the motor plates right? Is the drive line at the proper angle? Did I leave a brake line loose? And when you go out there and you get a damn Grand National or Champions Tour win and you welded that son of a bitch and you torqued all those rods, I don't think there's people in pulling that feel that same level of satisfaction.
We did that last year before
you do it yourself. Like
my tractor.
Oh, that's good. Like, and there's a lot of people that'll never have that, and they probably kick my ass 90% of the time. But by God, when I get that, oh, that's good. That keeps me coming back.
That's like our chassis. Our chassis are both angular, but Danny's stiffened them, and I mean we've done a lot of work to them ourselves. I mean, Tim does a great job, but when we went to the big blocks and stuff, things changed a little bit. And,
So are we missing some stuff there? You guys got some fabricating equipment. I mean, obviously, there's welders and stuff involved. You guys are farmers. You got mills and lathes around there?
Oh, yeah. We got a few. And then
that's all you need, brothers. You got that stuff.
We're neighbors with Carl.
I remember when I was
got a lot of stuff.
17 years old. There was a guy in town that was getting rid of some stuff. He was moving, and he was going to put some machinery in storage. And I bought a mill, a lathe, and a bandsaw and a drill press for $5,500.
Oh,
now, that would be worth about
you'd build anything
$50,000 now on a low side, but I've made more stuff on those pieces of equipment.
We got all that stuff. It's old, our stuff's old, but it works.
That's why I said I've been trying to tell my buddies they farm. I'm like, you guys need a mill. What do we need a mill for? You can fix anything on a mill, and if you can't fix it on a mill, you can fix it on a lathe, which you should have one of those too.
Yeah, you get a mill and a lathe. I mean, you can solve 90% of the world's mechanical issues.
Exactly.
Like Danny fixes most of our stuff that way. I mean, we built this shop in 2013. My dad was still alive then. He thought we were crazy. Best thing we ever did. I mean,
See, we keep adding on to these small buildings, so we still don't have space. We just have more rooms with less space.
We build it big, but it probably still
it's awesome. Hell yeah.
Usually there's farm machinery tore apart in here. This is just as toys. But,
yeah, a good clean, efficient workspace that you can work in is a game changer. It makes it more enjoyable.
Absolutely. Bright.
You can do a better job. I mean,
that's the way it is. Our old shop was real dark, like a dungeon. And originally, when we built this, we were going to keep the pulling tractors in the old one, and it was at where I live. It's about a quarter mile away, and that didn't work. All we were ever doing was running for tools and running for this and running for that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I think we need to have like part of our pulling series. Like, if people would realize what tractor pullers actually work out of. Like years and years ago, Randy Petro used to had 3, 4. He had a multiple engine tractor and a couple 2-wheelers. And they would have to put vehicles in the trailer in storage so they could work on one vehicle in the shop.
Oh,
It's like, man, the way we are now, it's like we all go to these decent sized areas with stuff to work on. Like, I'm sure there's still guys out there that are, working in the smallest room they got. But it's awesome to see it grow up like that.
Yep. Yeah, I'm excited to see there's new stuff coming. I just don't know enough about it yet to know what we'll do, and I don't even know if we would end up getting to be a part of it. That's.
And you're not sure who they're going to accept and not accept. I mean, if you start accepting the multiple tractor teams, it's going to fill up rather quickly.
Do you feel that the pro stock class, if they do some of those, the bigger deals like that, depending on what pulls you go, say those bigger events, that it's going to be who tears up the most shit? I mean, in a pro stock, does it really come down to that? I mean, you guys probably could say differently, but
you don't have to tear up the most shit. You just got to be willing to tear up the most shit.
Is that what it is? I mean, because I look at it from the outside.
You're willing to take the chance,
right?
Yeah.
Not saying you have to, but you're going to run it where you know that is a possibility.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean,
I remember one night at Bowling Green, Adam, you told us that the guys won the $10,000 check, but they just spent $40 to get
it. Yeah, I mean, it just sometimes you look at this stuff and go, I tried to every time I tried to give it. Of course, in it, I think there's like, and this is maybe what I just don't understand is like the pro stock class. It's one of the heaviest classes, right? So you can manipulate weight and all that stuff. You have gear selections, the way you drive, all the things you do. Mini rods is a lot smaller box, I think. You know what I mean? As far as like what you can do with the actual vehicle. And, we sit back there and guys have done it before. Like you can change gears and stuff. I understand there's pro stocks out there that don't run gearboxes. They run a straight gear all the time and stuff like that. I just didn't know if like in a pro stock, it seems like you guys are all so good at it. Like you make one pass and you know what you have to do. Like that seems like that class is very, but you guys also have Mitas tires. You got Pro Polar tires. You got all these choices. You got these turbos. You got these pumps. You got all this stuff. There's so many more other things. And every time you look at it, it's like, well, it always seems like more power has always been the thing.
Well, like you talk about Mitas tires, they bite so good now. I broke my transmission.
Right.
Just find another weak spot.
Right. Input shafts. Right.
Yeah. Everything has to be heavier. Larry makes a heavier transmission now, and we didn't have it. And, it finally gave up.
Do you guys would you guys trade off the front end weight of not having a gearbox now that the class has tires that look better?
We still got enough movable weight. Yeah. 5 years from now, I don't know.
Right.
I still think you need gears.
We used to have trouble getting enough weight on the back of these tractors. Now we can't get enough on the front.
Right. Yeah. How do you feel about that whole cycle of tire roulette? Basically, like you're running them for a little while, and the next one, and
I think Mitas tires is the worst thing that ever happened to pro stock. If you want my opinion, I mean, it used to be more of a driver's class,
but now they'll take it,
and now you just mash it and go. I mean, you don't have to finesse it. You don't. I used to win a lot of poles. So did Danny. Driving it,
Right.
Now that's kind of taking that out of it.
We ran a highlight at the beginning of the show. I hate to be running over you guys again. Just one last question from me. I'll let these guys go.
Oh, you're good.
The one question that everybody knows that I'm going to ask: what the hell are you talking about at the starting line when you take off from? I want to know what's going down. What are you doing?
He usually tells me, "Don't be a dumbass." That's usually what he says.
All right.
And what do you tell him?
I always tell him to take his time. Don't let him rush you, and because
let Marvin come out here and wave you. Do what you gotta do.
Yeah, I'll throw the yellow flag.
When you're revving those things up, it seems like it takes forever to get from 2,000 to 3,300 RPM. You just keep pushing the throttle, keep pushing it, nothing's happening, and then all of a sudden it just comes to life all at once. But if you push it too fast, the water comes in and it kind of loads the motor up, and you don't want to do that. You want to clean it out on the starting line and get the turbo spinning because they're getting so big anymore. You really got to get after it on the line. You can't really load the motor and make it lazy. You got to get it spinning from the get-go or you don't get it spinning.
Gotcha.
So speaking of the water coming on, I see one of the recent rule changes is the water injection has to either be on or off, no varying or pulsing. What does that do for the pro stocks, and what do you think they're trying to achieve with that rule?
Honestly, I don't know. We still run the boost activated Simpson water valves. We haven't messed around with any of the computer operated water system. We've thought of putting it on already where the computer would turn water on if it got too hot, but I never finished that project. But it probably has something to do with electronic fuel injections. Well,
so a Simpson valve is basically all mechanical, and just as the boost comes up, it starts introducing more and more water, right?
And the more air pressure it's applied to it, the further the valve opens, which allows more water to go into the engine.
Okay.
Sounds like the barrel valve of the alcohol engine.
Yeah.
So when
Very
it says,
important, right?
So the rule reads, any valve used for water injection must function as either open or closed, but as a poppet, and there's a bit of a taper in there, albeit mechanical, but couldn't you say that, there is a varying, it's not just open or closed? If you were to actually graph the flow of that, is there a ramp to that based on varying boosts? So would a Simpson valve qualify as either open or closed?
I don't think it's just like that when it turns on. But
it doesn't pulse going down the track.
Okay.
It starts to open at 50 pounds of boost, and it's fully open at 80. And when you look at a computer readout, that's very quick. It happens really fast in the starting line. It doesn't vary going down the track. But honestly, I'm not sure where that rule come from. I'm sure somebody's working with it. They're trying to nip it in the butt before it becomes an issue. But
I think that might be a super stock thing more than
I don't know where that comes from. I just like the idea of maybe we're going to get some little yellow penalty flags and we can throw it at Marvin when we want to.
Yes.
He's going to have a rough summer if that's the case. Poor guy.
What are your thoughts on the video review?
I mean, they do it in pro sports. There's some times that somebody got the wrong call, like you were saying earlier about fluid spillage or something like that. And that's kind of an opinion. Every vehicle loses a little bit of fluid.
Yeah, if you watch the videos from Bowling Green last year, there should have been
both guys. Do you think it affects how that sled's stopping?
Oh yeah. Put water in the track down. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Do you think there's people that intentionally try to kind of spill some water at the end?
I wouldn't say something like that.
But you wouldn't say not.
I like Kevin. He always gives us the cliffhangers to ask him the question.
Yeah, I like it.
So the pro stock class as a whole, Kevin, you've been around and seen it a long time through. What is obviously that we could do a whole 2-hour show on the evolution of pro stock pulling, but like you alluded to a little bit earlier, like how do you where this started and where it is now? Like what the hell do you call that? Like it's chaotic from a if someone wants to get into pulling, they don't get into pro stock pulling.
Dynos and money, that's what's changed it.
And
back in the day,
tires too.
And tires. Yep. Everybody got a dyno anymore. Everybody, we've dynos ours maybe
10 times,
maybe 10 times in the last 10 years, just to get a baseline, or something. But we don't do it often,
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the hard runners dyno their stuff all the time in that class.
Yep. All winter long and all,
The best dyno's going down the track, though, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's different, and it can make all the power you can get on a dyno, and it might not work out on the track.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys dyno V8 motors?
Yeah, I've seen exactly what he's saying personally. Where you can make big power on the dyno, but if you can't get it to the track, you can't use it. You're going to be worse off than what you are. And we learned the hard way that just because you can run that fuel setup on the dyno for a couple seconds, boy, I tell you what, you take that to the pulling track and you try and do that for 10 to 15 seconds, you're going to liquefy your pistons in a real hurry. It's going to run damn good right before you do that. But
we've done that a few times.
Ours is the same way. Timing and water will do it to us.
You know, 4 seconds will take it, but not 10 or 12.
Yeah, we're kind of walking in there thinking we're hot shit. We're like, these boys don't know we just found 400 horse, and then next thing you know, you just, all your pistons are coming out of your headers, and you're like, it's a pretty bad program.
Same thing. $50,000 on the line, and you may give her another degree. You take a little water away from it.
We were like that last year at Farley. Danny did real well in the qualifying, and then we draw our numbers for Saturday night, and he got number 21, almost last. And out at Farley for the whole weekend, it seemed like it was better to be early or kind of early. So we
I drew number 1 and stepped on it.
Yeah, so we sat there and talked about it. Why turn the timing up? Why lean it down? You probably ain't going to win. And he still got 4th, so we felt pretty good about that,
Right.
I would be sure.
That was a cool event. I hope they do it again. We enjoyed it. That was that was top notch. Everything Simons do is top notch.
Yep.
For sure. So speaking on, the very affordability of the pro stock class, is there a single rule that you guys could think of that could be implemented to try to make that class more affordable, or is it just too far gone, do you think?
Well, we tried to put turbo limits on, but PPL put it on and they pulled it off already. So I don't know. And I don't even know if that would work. They just might build a more efficient, smaller one, And
We saw your facial reactions to the 5.0 pro stock class, and that's all I needed to say. So, good question, by Tyler. I don't know anything about the class. I'm fascinated listening to how much resource goes into being good in that class. But that was.
Not only does the 5.0 pro stock just have a smaller turbo, they also don't allow intercoolers. Am I correct?
Yeah, no, it's pretty much the same, other than turbo and no intercooler. And I'm not against that class. I think it's all right. I just think there's too many.
Right.
There's too many. You guys watching, you probably say, "Man, how many smoke classes do we need?"
And if you go back to 5.0, like for us, we can go to Bowling Green, we can go to Chapel Hill, Louisville, state polls, Badger state polls, Toma. We can go to everything and not change a thing.
Right.
Where you go to 5.0, you're back to going to the county fairs on Tuesday night. Not going to Louisville or going to Bowling Green. It wouldn't be. It'd be like you guys going back to a limited mini class. You know what I mean?
You're not going to go backwards once you sat in the seat of a full blown pro stock. You're not.
Yeah. I think my thinking is the idea of the 4.1 coming in is maybe to take a little pressure off your guys' class. So maybe you get a similar class and don't have to run your class 25
and
times.
It is a good class. It's got color.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of color in it, and it's where our class is pretty green dominated. But I mean, it's getting better.
So now they're going to allow the component chassis. How do you think that's going to affect those classes?
Well, it'll help them. They'll have stronger drive lines. They tearing stuff up. When you look at some
automatic $60,000 at minimum to get one.
Yeah, but they're spending that in caster ends to make them tough.
And they're putting transmissions inside.
Profab sticking out of the top of a casting. How safe is pulling a 50-year-old casting transmission to fit? And then
probably should have just allowed it from the get-go.
Yeah,
I was when I built my component, I was going to build one like Wildman's had back then. You put a profab and a truck rear end inside the cast housing, and Tim Engler told me that he thought components weren't far away, so I waited because it was going to cost at that time like $75,000 to do that cast rear end, and I built my whole component chassis for like $32,000.
Insane.
Wow.
So that I couldn't pull at Bowling Green for 2 years because they wouldn't allow them. But
I feel like that's a prime example of no component chassis is seen as like, oh, this will save people money, but it just does the complete and polar opposite of where it was rooted.
Yeah, it just makes it worse, really.
Yeah. We see Mike Steffen here saying, when you guys started pulling, what was the horsepower then, and what is it approximately today?
I'd say I probably had 1,000, maybe If that. When I started, and now you got to be pushing 5.
That's nuts.
48 to 5. There's probably guys got more than that, but that's,
It's badass stuff. All right. We do a little segment on this show called the rapid fire segment where we give you about 10 questions, and some of them are a little silly. You can just give us a quick answer here. No need to elaborate. Starting off here, would you rather go a month without lights or have to ride a bike everywhere for a month?
probably a month without lights.
Yeah, that's a good choice. I'm right there with you. Are speeches and pulling best left respectful and boring, or is some trash talk and rivalry good for the sport?
I think some trash talk and some rivalry is good.
Yeah.
Some fan involvement.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't think you should get carried away, but
that's fair.
Gotta
I would
keep
agree
it
with
deep,
that.
right?
yeah.
Throw the subtle shots while you can.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, this one's a tough one, but do you prefer Welch's or Smucker's jam?
Oh, Smuckers, what the heck?
Yeah, I
wish mine was spelled the same, and we owned that company. We could have a whole bunch of pro stuff.
There you go. Who do you think had better grades in school, Brian or Braden Schrammick?
Braden.
I can see that. Should the diesels and the alcohols be combined to make one class in the super class?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, very quick to answer there. I like it. All right. Would you rather shower in Coca-Cola or brush your teeth with mustard instead of toothpaste for a week straight?
I'd brush my teeth with mustard.
Yeah.
I would have to agree as well. Who do you think could hand make a better pair of shoes, Larry Richwine or Marvin Epperson?
Larry.
Oh, no. Yeah, I could see it. He could be a cobbler. What tractor puller do you think is most likely to own their own collection of toy model trains?
Chase Richardson.
Oh, that's a good one. You're going with Chase as well? Yeah, I can see it. He's probably got a sneaky collection of them.
He probably does.
All right. Who would make a better librarian, John Link or Robbie Lemke?
Oh, sure.
Linker's got the comebacks and the.
Yep.
I don't know how much time you guys ever spent around him, but he's.
Oh yeah,
We've had him on a couple times.
Sure.
You get him wound up. There's no shutting him down.
Oh yeah.
All right. And finally, real tough one here. You got to pick. Are you team Texas Roadhouse or Longhorn Steakhouse?
Longhorn.
Yeah, probably Longhorn.
Okay, fair enough. That's the rapid fire segment. Pretty easy round. Nothing to it, huh?
Yeah, not bad.
It was pretty easy on you guys. Kevin and Danny, all right, you're obviously live and breathe diesel and smoke in your pulling careers. If you had to not run diesel and ran something with alcohol, what would you run?
Modified.
Ooh, quick answer.
He's always wanted a modified. I'd probably run a light super.
Oh yeah.
So when you say modified, Danny, like a 4-engine 871, a 2-engine light mod, an unlimited, what would it be?
I mean, I love the unlimiteds, but the sled's so heavy they don't. The light mods might go down the track faster.
We always try to trade Joe Etter because he wants to drive a pro stock, and I said, well, if we can drive your unlimited, you can drive a pro stock. So.
I often wonder how Brandon Simon can jump on the pro stock after driving that mod. That just looks like much fun.
Right.
It looks like a good problem.
Smiles.
Yeah.
So in all the years of pulling, do you both of you can answer this question if you want. Do you have any travel stories, memorable travel stories? Been running up around down the road for a long time. You got any ones that stick with you?
Yeah, we're going from Troy, Missouri to Jerseyville, Illinois one day, and Lemke's truck driver knew a shortcut, so we're traveling back county and township roads, and we get to the Mississippi River, and it's a ferry. We thought there was a bridge. We had to ride this ferry. Well, there's a garage sale in town, and all these people are out, and it's like a little, maybe 200-person town, and there's like 5 pulling rigs backing up from the river, from the ferry dock, and they're looking at us like, who are these crazy people? So we drive down the road a little bit, and we get to this suspension bridge, and it's a 40-ton limit. And everybody's starting to cross this thing at the same time. I told Dad, I was like, we're just going to hang back and wait till the others go, and then we'll cross.
It wasn't wide enough to pass a car.
Oh,
yeah, that was my best one. My daughter, I was at the Ohio State Fair back when NTPA used to be the swing from Ohio State Fair to Bowling Green. Been 1988, and my wife was real pregnant, and she wouldn't stay home. She had to go with us, and we got down there and we pulled, and she sat in the truck, and her water broke sitting in the truck watching the pull, and she wouldn't stay down there because she said we'd leave her in Columbus. So we drove from Columbus to Canton. It was me, Danny, and one of my friends, and her in a single cab and a half pickup.
Woo.
And we pulled into the hospital with the tractor and all right in front of the ER. And a cop come out and he said, "You can't park there." I said, "The hell I can't." And we got her out, and she had towels wrapped around her. And, needless to say, we were there about 5 or 10 minutes, and my daughter was born. So.
That's
wow.
a story. That's
awesome.
That's one you'll never forget.
That's crazy.
I always say she was a pain in the ass then, and she still is.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one. How old is she now, Kevin?
37.
Wow.
37. It was probably 1988. So,
yep.
Yeah. And we were in, back in, we had gooseneck open trailer and a pickup, that's.
Yeah.
Nobody had semis back in.
Oh.
Full story.
Yeah, it was interesting.
So Tyler, you normally ask this question, but I'm going to take it from him. Tyler, maybe you can reword the pull off if you could beat one guy.
Yeah.
You do better than I do.
Yeah. All right, Chase. All right, gentlemen, it's Saturday night in Bowling Green, your last hook of the class. You always want to get a win, but it's just a little bit more special when you take it from that special someone. Who's your special someone you want to take that from?
And they can't put their own
past or present. It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Larry Shope.
Yeah. I think I'd say either Larry Shope or
Iron Dragon.
Or Linder Brothers. I mean, this is old school pulling. I mean, those guys were. You can ask Danny. When Larry used to pull into a pull, I'd get all worked up because Larry was just a hell of a puller. He did it on a low budget, and he was good.
He was tough.
One time I took the lead at Bowling Green. There were 60 tractors in the class, and I was the 30th hook, and I took the lead. Nobody was getting close to me. I mean, I had it wrapped up. Nobody, and Larry was the very last hook. And Larry used to bounce around a lot. He could go one wheel, that thing, bounce up and down. And he did that, and he started doing that, and I thought, oh, I got this. It's done. And he bounced right down past me. He beat me by like 2 feet, It's just, it was, those guys were tough. I mean, and there's good guys today. I mean, Simons are tough. Connies are tough. Lemke. Those are probably the guys in Mastersons, yeah.
Yep.
What would Larry Shope? How would Larry Shope sit in the current pro stock environment?
Well, I don't think he could have hung anymore because he wouldn't have spent the money that we spend today. Of course, I didn't think I ever would either. But my first pro stock, I paid $8,750 for it. Yeah. You can't even buy tires for that.
Right.
Turbos used to be $600, $600. Now they're $20,000.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Larry would have. Well, he kind of quit when the components came. He wouldn't even.
I was going to say that kind of probably when he did. Yeah.
Yeah, he wouldn't build a component. So. But he was a good puller.
Yeah, he was a badass.
Yep.
That's a household pro stock Iron Dragon, right?
Yep. That's what it was.
One of the best.
One time we were sitting around drinking with Mike Connie, and we were talking about Shope, and Mike didn't pull back in. He didn't even know who he was. He said, "Who's this Larry Shope guy?" I said, "If you pulled back in the 90s, you'd know who he was."
Right.
You don't know now, but.
So you kind of mentioned you have your tractor torn apart back there, but the next big thing for y'all is the farm show. Is that correct?
Yeah, as long as we get in. I don't know. We didn't have the best year this year. Maybe I'll You won't get us. I don't know.
What is it with the farm machine show and the pro stocks? Obviously, I guess they resonate with one another, but that is the Super Bowl pro stock pulling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, every session has a pro stock class, right? So
that's just favorite. Pro stock country down there. I mean, that's
yeah.
Hopefully we get in. This would be our 39th straight year going to the farm.
I don't think they're not going to let you pull there. I'm just saying.
I don't think. So. And we did pretty good last year.
Yeah, we did okay last year.
I mean, I was fourth, and
that's definitely our favorite pull every year. It's
a lot of work. So from a pro stock standpoint, does the tractor change much from outside pulling to inside pulling?
Not really.
We don't. No, really? We don't change much. Nope.
We don't really change a thing. Maybe a little more weight on the front. Drive it a little bit.
Does the smoke tube bother you? No.
You don't even know it's there.
Nope.
It doesn't mess with you trying to leave the line because you can't quite visually see what's going on. You've done it so many times.
Watch it back and bury your hand as far as you
can.
Give it
everything it's got right on the get-go.
Especially there, because everything happens so quick there. You gotta get after it. You can't play around.
There's probably no two better feelings than hitting the sand pile in a pro stock on Saturday night.
Ask Danny.
Yeah, I've never got to do that.
Danny's never hit. He's
won there many times, but never hit the sand.
He's won the finals and everything, but he's never hit the sand.
Really?
Yeah.
Never kissed it one time, just a little bit. Ever?
Well, I have to say that these new sleds that they have now. It used to be more of a maybe seal it. He's got them locked down pretty good now.
Yeah, he can stop them. Yeah, Gone does a good job.
I mean, every time you think you're going through that sand pile, but you usually come up a little bit short. He gets you pretty quick. Yeah. I always said if I got the chance, I don't know if I'd do a Colin Ross in the sand pile, but I'd definitely do what Rob Russell did last year.
Yeah. I've hit it pretty hard a couple times. But
how many? So you mentioned it earlier. Please forgive me not remembering. You all won how many farm shows collectively?
We've won the finals four times. I won it once with my 4430 in 2002. And then I won it in 06 with the new tractor. We just built it. And then he drove it in 07. He won. We won back-to-back years.
Ooh.
And then we won again. I won with Get Her Done in 16.
Then we've won about 8 or 9 preliminary.
Yeah. I think I got the second most wins to the King, Don Masterson. But,
that's a pretty big statement for that pull in the pro stocks. So
yeah, it is. I mean, Don was the man down there.
All right. Well, one of my last questions I'll have for you guys. It's the one I always feel like I think it gives guys at a pull that give it a chance to feel what they want to say. If you're in charge of pulling, each of you, what's one of the first things you change about it? I'd like to make it better. I mean, what do you feel? What would you change? A rule that you'd imply, something that you would go after, whether it be whatever, to make our sport better?
I'm just pull-offs. Yeah. I think it added excitement to the show. Nobody wants to run twice, I know, but man, when you got a big class of 20 or 30, when it's over, people forget who's leading and who won. When you got 3 again, like here's your winner coming up. These 3 are going to duke it out, and whoever beats the other 2 is your winner.
Well, in like a place like Bowling Green, the track changes in our class 4 or 5 times. So if you're lucky enough to be in the spot and make it to the pull-off, it's even Steven when you do the pull-off. I feel I wish.
I don't want to see it every night.
No.
But I think the big events.
And I think they need to get a handle on the track length. That's BS. You never know how long it is. You never.
Yes. No. Yo.
3 or 4 years ago, I got second on Friday night at Chapel Hill, and Phil Parrish won. We were real close. So we go the next night, and it wasn't Phil, it was Rhett, but he was the first hook, and he went.
No, you were first.
Well, I was first hook. I went 360 something, and they said, "Well, we're going to look at one more."
No.
And he was second, and he only went like
340,
and then they changed.
Oh, get out of here! Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I was so irate. I'm surprised Vaughn never talked to me again. I mean,
Oh yeah, what'd you say?
I lost. And we were the top 2 tractors the night before. So why would you change it after the second one went? And then it turned out everybody started going way farther.
Barely 300.
Yeah, 300 feet.
Well, he was first hook after you guys ran. The sled sat there for an hour.
Yeah, I had the best track.
We groomed the track pretty good for pro stock class.
We love following you guys.
Awesome. You guys in 4-wheel drive trucks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't want to comment. I don't know what it takes to run a pro stock, nor do I ever want to know. But I always hear the comment sometimes, we can't run these things twice. But when you come to the pull off psychology, I'm like, well, if you set that thing up that with the idea that I might have to run this twice, you could probably run it twice, right? And that would change that would change a lot of people's approach and how they.
That's why those guys don't want pull offs, because they're them on kill for one pass, and they don't want to come back.
Which to me doesn't seem like you should build a vehicle to have to run twice no matter what. Like in my book, because if you're test hook, you got to be able to run twice. And I know the argument for more money, and we can do a whole show on things that need to be fixed. But with pro stocks, I've always said, well, fuck, they're not built to run 2 times. You should just run it, like tune your engine where it can run twice, right?
Right.
I will say there's a lot to be said for that. My father always would say, when he was even running his 5-engine tractor, towards the end, he was running it fairly hard, but not near at the level of the people he was trying to compete against, because he just simply couldn't afford to destroy it and put it back together. And so he had no choice but to run it at a level that he felt was safe enough where he could make laps with it. And he felt like he was running against people where they didn't give a shit if they were torching heads as they went out the end, and they stayed wide open until that thing quit moving. And he couldn't hardly do that. And so he felt in a pull-off environment, it was actually easier on parts because you could set things up where it would have to make consecutive laps, and it kind of would make you try to dial in that tuning window instead of just putting you only live once tune-up in it on Saturday, blowing it out the end, 3 engines destroyed, F it, we'll fix it in 2 weeks, because they didn't care. So it is an interesting angle to think about.
Well, and if you watch not just the pro stock class, but any classes, the second night of a 2-night pull, everybody runs them harder.
Oh yeah.
So if you had a pull off here, I guess it just kind of weighs into some of these people. Oh, we can't run them twice. Say they ran your class and then they run a couple more classes and they bring a pull off back later. Would you be in for that, or do you want it right away?
Kind of like they do in Europe.
Yeah, they do.
Bring them back at the end. Make a big deal of it.
It keeps people in the seats, right? Sell more beer, right?
Yeah. Here's your best 3 pro stocks. Here's your best 3 minis. They're going to duke it out. Winner takes all.
My perspective on this, and I don't know a damn thing about diesel. I barely know alcohol engines, but the only thing that from what I see could be a concern is the rear ends on unlimiteds. I think they have like a time lapse that you need to work within. But if you did a show where they're at the beginning, at the end, I think you could easily pull it off. Rear ends are different than the engines. Like, I don't think people are going to take the rear ends out and then observe them, where you can easily look at it.
I've seen Adam Bauer do it before at Fort Recovery. He changed and put a new third member in as 106 for the pull off before.
He's done a lot of stuff.
He probably rebuilt 2 motors in between there too.
Yeah, we've seen him do some shit.
That's not a normal human, though.
That's true. We see the Irish pulling team asking, how did you guys come up with the names? Is the one I have to ask Larry the cable guy inspired, get her done?
Well, that one I bought from Brian Stramick, and he left me keep the name, so that you'd have to ask him that one. But,
okay.
Rampage, 1981 or 2, something like that. I had this guy come out to paint the side shields, and he was a dope smoking, drinking.
Oh yeah.
But he was great at painting, airbrushing and that. And I had about 3 or 4 names picked out, and he liked that one, so that's what we went with. And I like it. I mean, it's stuck with us.
Sure.
Get Her Done's got a nickname too. When you look at the side of it, you cover up the G and the I and the U and the N. It says turd on the side of it, and that's kind of turd.
It's not as consistent as Rampage. I don't know why.
It's kind of an inconsistent.
Oh, I see it now. I see it.
Yeah. So you won't unsee it now.
Yeah.
Turd. Everybody calls it that.
Turd.
But I got that from Brian. We helped Brian win a title in 2010. We was playing around with Grand National a little bit, just going to the closer ones. And he come up to me in Michigan. I didn't really even know him that good. And he asked me if I'd haul it and drive it to 3 poles that he couldn't go to because he had unlimited and super stocks. And so we did. And the first one I took it to was Brandenburg. And I won the very first hook, and he ended up winning the title that year. I think I ran it three or 4 times. So that's how we got hooked up with it. And then one day
we worked together for a year or so.
Yeah, we the next year we hauled it around. I didn't own it yet, and then eventually he goes, "You might as well just buy this thing." So I did.
It's pretty awesome. I mean, those K&K sheet metal with the guy that painted all those tractors back in the day, it was kind of like you wouldn't dare go and sand the nice paintwork off of it when it looks so nice.
Rampage is 20 years old. We built it in 2005, and that's the original paint.
Wow.
That's awesome.
It's
I mean,
amazing.
that guy, they did. We take care of it, but I mean, it still looks pretty good, I think.
Sure.
That's cool. All right. Were you guys prepped for the segment 2 Truths and 1 Lie?
We'll give it a try.
All right. So this is a little segment. If it's your first time listening, you guys are going to say 3 statements. 2 of them are going to be truths. 1 is going to be a lie. And it is going to be up to us 3 to pick out the lie out of those 3. Take it away, gentlemen.
This is the No Practice Podcast. 2 truths and 1 lie.
Go ahead.
Ready?
Yep.
I pulled 3 times in one night at Toma. I changed an injector pump between runs at Bowling Green. And I won at the Ohio State Fair.
Ooh, that's actually a pretty tough one. I'm gonna say the third one's the lie. You've never won that.
Yeah, you never won the Ohio State Fair.
I want to say that because
I never got to pull there.
you never got to pull there. Yeah, exactly.
What was that?
My
Ohio State
lie
Fair. That was
in Louisville, but I gave that away a couple minutes ago.
All right. Well, you gotta give us the backstory on your first 2 statements. Those sound like kind of good stories there.
Oh, Toma one year, we tore up the motor really bad at Hutch. I come home, we got our spare, and it wasn't in the best of shape, but it was good enough to make a few passes. So we took it to Wildman's, we switched it out, went to Toma, ran twice on Friday afternoon and got the win. Was test took Saturday night to change the sled, come back, got in the pull off, and had to run it a 3rd time Saturday night.
Shit.
When I got done, it had about 2 pounds of oil pressure.
She was huffing.
And it was in pretty bad shape, but it was enough to get second and win the weekend. So I guess it was worth it.
I was in the pull off with him. All I had to do is win it, and he wouldn't even had to run, but I didn't do that. So.
See, at that point in time at Toma, they used to give a watch away for first place, and second place at a different, like a tool or some sort of weed eater or something. Yeah. Probably wasn't hating second, man.
I think you still won the weekend.
I did. I won the weekend.
Oh, the weekend. Yeah, that's right. You go.
There's a lot of history and stories about the Ohio State Fair. The venue that did that pull, is it gone? Like, there's no chance that they ever come back?
No, there's a horse barn built where the track used to be.
There's more road cones than I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah. I used to run them all over, and then the stadies would follow you in and bitch at you.
How can you explain to them? Did they give you a harder time as they gave some of the other people, the state cops? They were insane.
Yeah. They were terrible. You hated to go there. I mean, I like pulling there, but you hated it. That fair's turned into a giant carnival, so I don't think tractor pulling would work there anyway.
I thought maybe that was going to be the big announcement Monday night. Go back to like Ohio State Fair or Iowa State Fair.
That's next week. Hold on.
I mean, we went there a long time ago, but I just thought maybe one of the state fairs we might get to go back to.
Yeah, the Bucks are cool.
Have you seen this many announcements in pulling in November in your life?
No. Not this many in 1 week either.
Before the banquet, they usually make you wait for that. And no, I've never seen anything like it.
From a guy who's been around a long time, is that a good or a bad thing?
Well, I think don't you think the 2 organizations are trying to outdo the other one. That's what I think it is.
And that's good.
Yeah, it's a good
Competition's
thing.
good.
It's a good thing.
There's plenty of vehicles for both organizations to have a good class every night.
Yep.
There's enough minis for both of them to have 15 good ones every night. They're on top of each other, right?
The fact that an organization sold $1.4 million for a sponsorship is the biggest news in history of polling that I've That's good news, not
we used
bad.
We used to get all giddy over the $50,000 Case IH sponsorship. Right?
Yeah, $1.4 million. Are you shitting me?
Well, that guy that bought those racetracks, he bought Dragway 42, and we went to Ohio State Pole there last fall, and he flew in there in his helicopter 2 times. He brought 2 loads of people in there, and he must have been impressed. I mean, it was a pretty good state poll for Ohio State Pole. It was a pretty darn good poll, and he must have been impressed to do what he's doing.
Yeah, I must say I'm excited. I feel like he means business. He gave his speech. The biggest thing was make it happen.
Yep.
And
I mean, I think he's serious, and I think he's got plenty of money to.
I just wonder how they're going to pick vehicles. For like Pro Stock, PPO only had 4 vehicles or 4 tractors make all the hooks last year.
Right.
I wonder how many of them competed though. Like if you were to look at all the events, surely they had a variety greater than 50.
Yeah, there wasn't. They had as many as maybe 8 sometimes.
Yeah. There was the numbers were really low the entire year.
But come and go. Do you think they had
back to them?
Did they have a variety of 15 if you were to add up the different ones all throughout the season?
No, I'd say about 8 or 9 was it.
Okay.
Well, me and Adam are going to have a cage match on this show one day. No, I think that is.
Your events, Chase, you didn't. Another round.
Maybe like that in Pro Stock too. Maybe we'll have like wrestling matches or
maybe we should have one big qualifier, huh? Is that what people want to do?
I hope I ain't gonna do that.
Or maybe they'll have a poll somewhere, and whoever does the best gets to go.
If I have to wrestle, I hope it's Tim Kaine, because him and me are the 2 oldest guys in the class.
Yeah.
You think you could take him?
I think I could take them.
Yeah.
We're not promoting violence, fans. We're just promoting pulling.
Yeah,
We're just speculating.
Tim's a good friend of mine. He's probably my best friend in Poland.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're pretty close.
So we're coming up on 2 hours and 40 minutes. You guys have been amazing. I would argue the number 1 father and son duo in all the polling currently. I don't mean that lightly. Any final last words on your all's behalf? When I say last words, anyone you need to thank out on this podcast? We do have a lot of people that watch it, and we're proud of that. We're proud of our guests. So the floor is yours to acknowledge anyone that makes this go for you all. And I know, wives, kids, whoever, the floor is yours.
Well, first, I want to thank my mom and dad for the opportunity to do it. Without them, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you guys right now. My wife for giving us spending every night all summer in the shop fixing these hot rods and spending our weekends on the road. And my kids, they try to go as much as possible, but when we go on 3 or 4 day weekends, it's a little bit tough. So that's why we went to some closer ones last year when everybody can go, and it's a lot more fun. But as they get older, we can travel a little more and go to some bigger stuff. Riverside Engines, I mean, Phil and Keith have been great to us over the years. I need something. I don't think we've ever missed a pull because of them. We always had it on time.
Might be the night before. But
it's always the night before. But we have a joke around here. If it isn't 11:59 on Thursday night, it's too early. Weimer fuel injection, Nichols tire cutting, Shipley brothers, Carlin family, Scott, Brian, Alan Brailer helps us tremendously in the shop. Simpico Oil. We're talking about sponsors. A lot of times they get overlooked. I think Simpico's done as much for tractor pulling as probably anybody. Maybe not a title sponsor, but they help out a lot of teams and a lot of events along the way.
They help us.
The NTPA, the PPO for a great place to pull. The sled guys, they take a lot of shit that they miss a setting, but they have this. Their job's just like ours. They got to hit their setup just right too. We miss our setup. Nobody really notices it. But when they miss theirs, we're right there to say, well, what the hell did you do that for? The track builders, same thing there. And I promote a pole every year, and usually you got 3 or 4 really happy people, and the rest of you think you're an idiot. It's hard to please everybody, and all the fans for coming and watching us. It's great that they spend their money coming and watching us have fun. It's some of the events. It's not the cheapest night out, but it doesn't go unnoticed. It's great to pull in front of a full house, like Saturday night at Bowling Green. I mean, you guys pull out on that track. That's the best.
Awesome.
Nothing better.
Yeah.
He pretty much said everything, I think. But I'd like to thank my wife. I mean, she's did without a lot of things because of this sport. She likes it. She goes with us. I mean, she'll ride to Hutchison. She'll ride in that, towed her home 16 hours. She doesn't. She loves to go. And we don't have a new house. There's a lot of things. We don't vacation a whole lot. That Poland is our vacation. She's done without a lot of things to do this. And my friends, I got Scott. He's been with me probably 35 years. And a couple of the other ones, his brother Bill died last year. He was a 35-year. And had another buddy, Mike, died of cancer in 2020. I mean, those guys, you can't do it. You guys know that. You got to have you got to have help. And these guys, they were great. And Danny, I mean, he keeps us close. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he gets tired of hanging with me all the time. We work all day together, go tractor pulling, but it's a family thing. And all the friends you made. I mean, you guys, everybody. I wouldn't know. Adam's dad. I used to talk to him for hours. I remember up at Toma talking about Trump and all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a great sport. What can we do to make it better? The money thing will be great if we can get it raised and maybe cut down on the points hooks. I don't know how to do that. I mean, everybody wants the pro stock class. Everybody wants the unlimited class. How do you, they can't have it, but on the other hand, you're running the pullers ragged. So. But I think both organizations, I pulled with both of them. I think they both do a great job. I think OSTPA does a great job. I mean, it's a good thing. It's a good sport.
For sure. Well, on that note, gentlemen, what do you think? Time to call it an evening?
Make sure we have confirmation. You'll be at the No Practice Podcast National.
We'll be there. We'll be there.
Yeah.
At least one of us. Both tractors will be there, and one of us will be there. One might be home spraying or planting corn or something.
All right. Well, we have agreement then. And special thanks to you all for joining us. This is the last podcast before Thanksgiving, so we all have a lot to be thankful for.
I watch you guys all the time. It's great to be on it,
Thanks for tuning in and giving us your time.
Glad you asked us.
Yeah, thank you.
We don't take ourselves too serious, but we do appreciate our fans, and
No, you guys are good. You guys are good for pulling. I almost last year when you was doing the thing on the Louisville thing, I almost chimed in, but I knew better to shut my mouth. So.
No, that's what we want.
So the leaders of the sport that hate us, Kevin Schmucker just said we're good for pulling. So talk to him next time you bitch at us.
Yeah.
No, it's good stuff. We're going on 2 hours 45 minutes. Been a fun show. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
You guys too.
Yeah, we're going to be back in a couple of weeks. And Schmuckers, we look forward to seeing y'all down the road. Good luck with the rebuilds, and bring beer with you in Louisville, if nothing else.
Yeah, we'll see you there. Definitely be there unless another jet crashes and takes out the.
Yeah, we got close there, man. What are you gonna do? You can't go to Well, they'll have Stooges back open.
Well,
we hope.
Let's hope it's back open by then.
Yeah, you like that picture? Stooges is right there.
That's crazy.
All been there
Yeah,
many times.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Wow.
all right, people. Cheers.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Thank you, guys.
Happy Thanksgiving. We'll be back in a couple weeks.
All right.
That's a wrap.
Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the No Practice Podcast.
Have a good one. Bye.
Stay tuned for the next episode, where we guarantee there still won't be any practice.